Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
It's Charlie Angus here from Midas Canada, the Resistance Tour, and I watch the Bin Podcast Network. You gotta watch it. Sign up, follow him.
I can be his arms. I like it. Howdy, partners. What's up? Holy crap. Finally got Stinky Butt to eat her cereal. But of course, she had to talk to Nana. So then she wouldn't eat her cereal. I was like, please just eat your cereal. Just eat it, please. And then you guys can run around and talk. Lord have mercy. I'll let everybody trickle in. Sorry for the lateness. Adam, what up? A custom merch. Custom and paid for by an artist, not from AI. And let me tell you guys, I might have to do this story a couple of times over. It's been, I mean, I'm bursting. Oh, wrong one. There we go. I'm bursting with excitement. That's what you get. It's your 6'7". What's up, McKinnon? Guess what, guys?
All right, we got some breaking news out of the business world. OpenAI saying it's shutting down its video generation platform, Sora. You see the post here on Sora's X account. Their message to people who used it: what you made with Sora mattered, and we know this news is disappointing. The AI videos, like the ones you see here, have generated some controversy. Critics saying they're a breeding ground for potential copyright infringement or about deep fakes. Brian Chung is joining us now with more on this.
Yo, what was that shot just now? What was that shot they just pulled? McKinnon, you're a film nerd too. What was that shot into the fucking? What was that? Like what is the low res into the monitor? Come on, go back. Here we go. We're gonna have internet issues already. Jesus, I just started.
About deep fakes. Brian Chung is joining us now with more on this. They just had this $1 billion deal with Disney. Yeah. They've actually talked about on the podcast. And now it sounds like they're ending their partnership and they're shutting down their doors. Yeah. What's going on?
And what was remarkable about that Disney partnership was that it was only in December. Yeah. Sora, as a video generating platform, again, the idea is that it's a text to video. You just kind of type in what you want, and then this AI creates that video for you. It was only over a year old. I think it was released to the public in December of 2024. And now you have OpenAI saying they're shutting.
Good riddance.
This thing down. Now, the OpenAI company does say that they decided to discontinue Sora as they focus and compute demand grows. They say that they want to focus on things that are real world physical tasks. And then Disney, which is the other big aspect of this. As you point out, they had a $1 billion equity investment in OpenAI as a result of a partnership where they said, we are going to allow Disney characters on Sora. Again, arguably the most, recognizable library of characters ever.
Even the mouse, the most copyright-driven mouse that there ever was like, I will own all the copyrights.
Disney saying in response to this news that they appreciate the constructive collaboration and essentially that they respect the company's decision to close down that particular platform. We don't know what happens with that investment. They haven't responded to the questions about that.
No,
but again, this is just
way.
Kind of showing us how fast things are moving in the AI.
I just wonder if it's about profitability. And I only ask that because, Sam Altman, he's got a lot of pressure on him and they're trying to take OpenAI eventually public, right? Is this an indication that they felt as if maybe Sora was not as profitable for them, for their bottom line, as they thought it was going to be, hence why they're shutting those doors?
Yeah, different companies feel differently about this. So you have Google and Grok, now that OpenAI has essentially shuttered Sora as the only really remaining big players that have these video generators. Grok's is called Imagine, Google's is called VO, but I should point out Anthropic. That's the big one. A lot of people have been talking about Claude. Anthropic has chosen from the get-go to not do image or video generators. I should point out, OpenAI says they're still going to do images, but different companies feel differently about what's the best strategy. I should point out there's also a legal liability.
Yeah, legal a little bit. You might have some legal issues, huh? Maybe slightly.
Aspect to it. Deep fake pornography is a big issue with these types of video
Oh, who would have thunk that people would use this to make revenge smut? Who'd have thunk?
generators, and it's just maybe unclear if OpenAI saw that as a potential liability here.
It's major, though, I have to say, really major.
Big
It's
deal.
surprising. Brian Chung, thank you.
Good riddance to bad rubbish, I say. All right, what was next? So I told Cortez about this yesterday. I don't know if you guys, maybe this didn't make it to everybody. All right, picture this. Picture this. You're a cop and you're doing a high stakes boyfriend move the car to an annoying spot to piss off ex-girlfriend, and the guy's cooperating, but you decide to detain him and put him in the back of your squad car. Just then, shots ring out. Shots ring out, and your life is now in danger. So what do? You do a tactical roll, somersault across the ground, grab your service weapon, and you return fire. We have the body cam footage. Shots fired! Shots fired! Shots fired! Shots fired! Shots fired! You know. It says they're real small. The unarmed suspect was uninjured, but says the incident left him damaged for life. Yeah. Yeah, Adam's right. And you were 2 weeks away from retirement. I'm hit! Jesse's not hit. Mag dump. What? I'm not! In the car! I was shot through the car! Oh! I don't know. You want to know why you don't know? Because it didn't happen. Brother, it's in his own body cam. I'm telling you, an acorn fell off the tree, landed on the top roof of the car, tinged. This motherfucker said, shots fired, did a fucking Jason Bourne, John Wick, Keanu Reeves, tuck and roll, and started spraying his own vehicle with the guilty party, the guy guilty of doing, let me check, nothing, but they just wanted to detain him. And he cooperated. And then this motherfucker hears an acorn and goes ballistic. Yeah, acorning disposition. Yeah. I'm talking about this man. A loose cannon cop losing his shit and breaking all the rules. This motherfucker thought he was literally in, like, he heard and he was in that lobby from the Matrix 1. God, I love that scene. I mean, come on, brother. You can see they slow it down and do the little circle thing. You can see the acorn. That's all he needed to know that danger was afoot. Let's hear it again. Shots fired! Shots fired! Shots fired! Shots fired! Triple flip. Shots fired! He was out there like he was fighting a Dark Souls boss. You know. I'm hit! Not the reload. I'm not. He said, Blah. In the car! I was shot through the car! Oh! Sir, you are not shot. Please stop saying you were shot. You have not been shot. But you have shot your own vehicle 73 times. I don't know. You said, where is he? I don't know. Well, you should probably know that if you're going to be lighting everything up. I know
Illinois, shall we? Yeah, once a year, the sky.
I know everyone, especially around here, understands the goose apocalypse. And twice a year, we get the sky turning dark and the millions of Canada geese fly overhead, shitting and squawking so loud that it sounds like a roar of 1,000 thunderous marshmallow peeps. And apparently they had company this year.
Illinois, shall we? Yeah, once a year, the sky there comes alive as millions of snow geese descend on a place most people have never even heard of. And so Aaron went out there, and you've got the story of what happens in central Illinois,
Right.
I guess.
And there's a backstory here because you
Okay.
know my photojournalist,
Oh,
Audrey
yeah.
Haynes, is all about birds. So when she pitched this story to me, I kind of gave her that look, right? But she goes, no, Aaron, we are talking about a whiteout storm of wings happening over a spot most drivers would pass without ever knowing. So done, I'm in.
done.
This is the story of the wild goose chase.
This is a story, y'all.
It's fields for miles. Till you hit the sign welcoming you to the small town of Havana, a place where locals never struggle to find parking, and the population
Bro, why is there 100 pelicans in this middle of the Illinois place? What is going on right now?
is exponentially outnumbered by birds.
Kind of in the middle of nowhere. You know, you've got to kind of got to want to get here.
Here being the Imaquan Preserve,
This was corn and beans as far as the eye could see from 1920 all the way through 2000.
when the Nature Conservancy bought thousands of acres worth of farmland to let the wetlands breathe again.
One of the craziest habitat restoration stories in the Midwest.
Do you hear it in the background? Hell yeah, these are lib geese. Just jumping borders.
Native plants woke up. Fish came back. And then a sound
That was actually a bird being eaten by a fish. I know he said it was a fish, but
that had not been heard in ages.
I had never seen snow geese until about 10 years ago. I just seen a whole big group of them went up maybe 5 minutes ago.
She followed them up the road from Havana.
That's just amazing.
bro, they better go to Havana because this is unseemly. This is too many. This is too many geese. I think that's fair to say. This is too many.
To capture what most will never see.
Thousands, easily be thousands.
Try millions of geese who have traveled thousands of miles to this perfect rest stop on their way to their breeding grounds in the Arctic tundra.
That sounds like Canada. Canada, come get your birds, please.
I've been here when you couldn't hear people talk next to you because they were so loud.
That is a...
And I mean, our goose apocalypse is like 1/20th of that. You get like a good 100 going over at once. And then it's like, God, they're so loud. They're talking about millions of geese. Nah, brother, y'all got to get out. You got to go.
A really unique thing. It is such a spectacle.
Some poor Nana was eating a bagel on a park bench when she was mauled by 10,000 ducks.
Randy Smith says the stop isn't just convenient, it's the difference between finishing the journey or not making it at all.
There's not really anywhere else for them to go. So we get really large numbers.
Here, they feed in the surrounding farm fields. They rest
on farmer
on the water. And when they're ready, they rise.
An amazing thing to see.
Rising up all together and just filling the sky.
A white cloud you can feel and hear.
You can hear them coming because they're deafening when they get going.
Hey, who wants to try some of these Cuban wings, baby?
Climbing into the sky, leaving behind the quiet little town of Havana and a hidden place that for a few...
Look at that, dude. It's an island of ducks. That's too many. Oh my God. Don't. Yeah. See, I see what this is. And actually, Tons of Mice isn't here yet. But he sent me a book, Birds or Cameras, or Birds Aren't Real. The secret plot of mass avian murder and government surveillance. Those are cameras. Birds are cameras.
Remarkable weeks each year
Makes me smile.
becomes one of the greatest wildlife spectacles in Illinois.
Fucking drone swarm. Look at them all communicating.
What a sight. And it's really
communicating
no
to each
coincidence
other.
that millions have chosen this resting spot as urban development continues spreading throughout Illinois. There are fewer options for those migrating geese. And I just have to give a tremendous shout out to photojournalist team.
Okay. Yeah, that was a fun day for them.
CNN
Go
projects
out to the lake and you get to record ducks. You don't have to go to fucking crime scenes. That's a good day. But now let's get into the politics side of it. I've warmed you up sufficiently. You've laughed. Now to enrage you.
Democrat Emily Gregory will flip a Republican-held state House seat whose district includes President Trump's Mar-a-Lago resort. CNN chief data analyst Harry Endon is with me now. I mean, ouch.
How
It's going to be the new Progressive Party animal. It'll be the duck.
delicious for Democrats this morning. My goodness gracious, they're waking up. Maybe they're going to get brunch at Mar-a-Lago and say yummy, yummy, because this result will make
Not yummy, yummy.
their stomachs feel quite good indeed. Florida's 87th House District election margin. Sarah is laughing over there. Look at this. In 2024, Donald Trump won it by 11 points. Look at this swing all the way to the left. We got Gregory, the Democrat, winning it by 2 points in this state house special election. I will also note that they flipped a state Senate district as well further north in the state. So double fun for Democrats in a state that they have been struggling with. Democrats have lost so much power in Florida over the last decade, and then they're able to win in Donald Trump's backyard.
So, like, I get that a lot of these special elections and stuff like that, there are more or less referendums on the current administration. Totally understand, totally cool with that. For the love of whichever God you get on your knees and pray to, please do not fucking win a seat and just fucking clog up the pipes and not do anything. Because I have a horrible feeling that after these midterms, there's going to be blue sprayed everywhere. And everyone's going to be so fucking happy that, oh, everything's going to be fine. And they're going to get fucking complacent. And then it's going to be 8, 12 years. And we'll be right back here with fucking MAGA 4.0, you know, trying some more bullshit.
Democrats are absolutely loving it this morning.
I'm laughing because you said that they were going to have brunch at Mar-a-Lago. Yummy, yummy. Really? Really? Is that what's going to happen?
Food is always on my mind because I
Yeah, I always eat brunch at the place where fucking Epstein was grooming children. Like, what the fuck? Ain't nobody eating at fucking Mar-a-Lago.
minute fast.
Clearly. All right. How does this fit what we've seen nationwide so far?
Yeah, okay.
And it follows a trend, right?
Yeah, it absolutely follows a trend. Look, what is happening around Mar-a-Lago is not just staying at Mar-a-Lago. It's expanding out. I mentioned that other district of the state Senate district they flipped last night in Florida, but it's not just there. It's nationwide as well. Take a look here. Okay, the average 2025, 2026 special election so far. Democrats are doing, get this, 12 points better, up like a rocket versus Kamala Harris's baseline in 2024. This 12 points, very similar to this 13-point swing that we saw right in Florida, right around Mar-a-Lago in the 87th district. And I will note, I was counting it up. I believe that is about a dozen different special elections in which we have seen a flip from Republican control to Democrat control. So what is happening and happened last night in Florida.
What the fuck is this? All right, I'm going to play that next.
is really emblematic of what we have seen nationwide so far, which is Democrats very much outrunning the baseline from 2024.
All right. How does this look for the midterms? Because you can't.
Damn, bro. All right. Never mind. I won't say it yet.
Absolutely predict it. But boy, you're starting to get some real signs.
We are getting some really big signs. Look, Part of the reason we look at this is not just because I love elections, which I absolutely do. I mean, there was a reason why I wrote in my high school paper about elections, why I watch old election night videos as well. It is because they mean so much for power come November. Look back through the history books. Look back since I was in high school. Look at the special elections and midterm results. When a party outperforms in midterm special elections in midterm cycles since 2005, look at this. 5 out of 5 times that same party went on to win the U.S. House of Representatives. The fact that Democrats are outperforming not just around Mar-a-Lago, but nationwide as well is a very telling sign.
But I mean, and also, like, you guys got to remember, Trump didn't win by like 10 million votes. You know what I mean? Like, he didn't win by this huge margin. I think it was only like 1.5, like 2.1 million that like decided the election or whatever. So what this tells me more than anything is that the MAGA base has soured on these policies. Like, he didn't make things cheaper. Immigration is a quagmire. He's bombing Iran. Like, he let Israel do whatever they wanted and killed even more people. Like, he's not paid his bills, which is kind of his pattern. But you sold $1 billion, and then the Epstein files. The Epstein files are not out. He said he was going to do it day 1. Here we are on day fucking 300 and damn near 400. It's still not out. And Pam Bondi came out 2 weeks ago and said that was all the information we planned on giving. So don't expect anything else. Good luck selling that in the midterms.
For the future. Look, sometimes history isn't always prologue, but in this particular case, based upon everything we're seeing, I'm betting it is. What happened last night in Florida probably is emblematic of a larger sign that Democrats are very much likely heading towards getting back the U.S. House of Representatives.
And you're like, she got killed in electoral votes. Yeah, because she fucking didn't say she was going to stop the genocide. Like, that's all she had to fucking say. That's all she had to fucking say. Then never even realist them. But we're at the crossroads, and I don't think you guys understand what communism is. Who is you guys? Like I don't know what show you stumbled across, but yeah, unless you know I'm hey Ollie, unless you heard me say something, you probably shouldn't assume that I believe it. $2 billion a day wasted, airports clogged, tourism dead, gas prices high, Trump thinking it's a good day. Yeah, and he's like bragging about that shit, and he's just like, no, it's going great. And if you don't say it's going great, then you have Trump derangement syndrome, and you're an asshole. And it's like, I don't know, man. I think the gas is just more expensive.
You know what we learned also today is that your dream has come true. From high school to now, you're now working elections. You're involved.
Let me just tell you this. If you had told me a decade or 2 decades ago, I'd be right here, my dear friend, Sarah Seidner, I would have taken it every single
dream
time.
Catcher.
Dream catcher.
Come on, Harry. All right.
CNN can now
You know, Adams asked and answered. You know what I mean? That motherfucker said, this was in my dream catcher. He wanted this gig. What's my other man? Steve Kornacki with the khakis. Kornacki with the khakis over there on CNN. Or is that CNN or NBC? He better be careful. Look, don't you tell him about his dreams. Don't you worry about that. He out here he's got achievable goals. And that's the key. Prologues. Is this a renewables thing or admin Putin? Huh? What do you mean? What do you mean?
Project that a Democrat has flipped a deep red Florida State House district that does include President Trump's own Mar-a-Lago home. It's a pretty big victory for the Democrat here, Emily Gregory, and the latest in a string of special election losses that we've seen for the Republican Party.
Why isn't she smiling? I want her to smile. Oh, my fucking weirdo.
President Trump won this district by 11 points in the 2024 election, and he had issued his complete and total endorsement of the Republican who was running here. That was John Maples.
Yeah, see, that's the story here. The story here is that even when Trump supports you, it's not overriding how pissed off the people are. You know what I mean? Like that's the takeaway. Because at first the Republicans were all, lockstep with Trump and letting him do whatever he wanted because they were afraid that Elon was gonna dump, $100 million into their campaign for their competitor and get them primaried, right? Like that was the fear. Well, now that the bosom buddies have broken up, I don't know what that fear. I don't know why that fear is still there, or if this is maybe they're afraid to not get the endorsement now that Elon said he's not putting money in politics anymore. But I mean, the Trump brand is toxic right now. Like John Maples got that fucking Trump stamp in Trump's home fucking district and got cooked. So what does it say about the brand if even when the MAGA guy fucking puts his royal seal of approval on you and you still get your ass cooked? Sounds like the tide's turning.
Which makes tonight's Republican loss all the more notable. My political sources are here tonight. And sure, Michael, I do think some people want to say, this is Trump's backyard. How much are you reading into this as a Republican?
I mean, look, you go all the way back.
What are they doing with these camera angles? Like, be still in the studio. You have a studio and desks for a reason. Not for you to just be running around like doing fucking parkour. Just sit down and film the segment. That's what it's the taco way. And see, and then watch, he's going to fucking come out and he's going to say that guy's a piece of shit. And that's why he's a loser. And I don't know why I even endorsed him because he lost. Like, he's going to flip on that guy.
Back to the Civil War, and the party of the president has typically lost seats in the House. This is not an uncommon phenomenon. And you look at Bill Clinton, you look at President Obama, you look at the first Trump term, you saw consistent losses, including in some congressional districts where the president won sometimes by 15 to 18 points. Give or take. So this isn't necessarily a surprise to me that
Sure, Michael's a Republican.
Democrats are effective in their ability to win some of these special elections. You call this the thermostatic effect. That's what political scientists refer to it as. Those of us who do this type of strategy work, at this point, you start to account for what the losses could be and how do you mitigate them as much as possible for your side. And so for me as a strategist and a Republican, I'm looking at what some of these Democrats are talking about, what the messaging is to those voters, specifically independents.
Yeah, the message is Trump fucking lied about all this shit and we're still broke. Nothing got better. Everything is worse across the board. Everything is worse. That's the message. Put me in office and I will help prosecute the fuckers that are ruining our lives. No, easy.
And how do we counteract them on cost of living, gas prices, affordability, housing? And if we can do that, then I think you diminish some of what could be big gains this November.
Yeah, what are Democrats reading into this tonight?
Well, I think that a lot of what Michael said was right, but the one consternation I have is that this is Trump's.
Billy says the price of food went back to normal. Hey, brother, guess where we get our fertilizer from? Canada and the Strait of Hormuz. Keep it. They're normal for now.
Backyard. We're talking about Mar-a-Lago. Yes, Democrats are poised to take the House back, but Trump's backyard.
Ali says, I don't know. I'm still worried about the midterms. Trump's base really hasn't turned that much. Those numbers are still close with the way Trump is behaving, performing. It should be a blowout if the base was really turning on him. Well, that's the thing. A lot of people didn't his base didn't grow to the point that he won the election. It's the Democrats put up the worst fucking candidate possible. They didn't give her enough time. They didn't hold a primary. And she went up there on camera with fucking Liz Cheney, the war hawk, the daughter of the war hawk, and said, I'm going to have a tougher border policy than Trump will. Who the hell is voting for that? Like, they fucking tanked that election. Like, if you ask me, like, for her to lose to lose in that manner, they had to fucking throw it. Because you got to be some sort of moron to lose to Trump. With his track record already out there, to lose to him, you got to be some sort of moron. Fucking Tim Walz is calling everybody weird because they're fucking saying a bunch of weird shit. Fucking numbers are through the roof. Consultants come in and say, don't call people weird. Don't do that. You should play nice. And then everything just starts fucking going in the shit. No, they threw that election. They didn't want to win. For whatever reason. Maybe they wanted Trump to get in there and cut more taxes because that benefits them. And then they'll figure America can take this one more time. And then we'll hop in and intervene and all that. I don't know. But no one with a brain could have lost that election. Trumpets. Is that what they're called? Trumpets? Didn't turn on Trump for Dems if you think that you're from ours. But that's not true, because there's tons of people that are, there's even Trump Republicans, like people that have run for office and that are in office, that are switching to Democrat because they don't want to be associated with this anymore. Like you're saying Trump and Dems, but what you're not saying is Republican and Dems. Like this MAGA movement is splintering. People want off. They said they were told that they were going to get those Epstein files. It was on Pam Bondi's desk. Didn't happen. Gas prices going to be lower than you don't even know what to do. You're going to be saving so much money. You don't didn't pan out. No tax on tips. No tax on overtime. Blah, 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 blah. Everybody thought that shit was just going to be going straight into their pocket. Nope. It's actually a fucking weird ass fucking tax exemption thing you have to do. You have to claim 100% of your tips now. And you need to fucking hire somebody to do it for you because they got rid of the way to file your taxes for free at home. So online. So, I mean, everything he's promised, he's gone back on the promise. No, she had some policies. And those policies, whether or not she was going to execute them or not, who fucking knows? Probably not. But they were there. I mean, and as far as policy goes, Project 2025 was on their website for 100 million years until they, were getting in trouble for it and getting called out for it. And then this motherfucker sat there and lied for the entire election cycle that he had no idea. He had no idea what it was. Yeah, Project 25, what is that? I don't even know what that is. I could find 20 clips of him denying that its existence. And then there's like 5 clips of him saying, thank you to Heritage Foundation for giving us Project 2025. Like the lies are right there. Yeah, we're going to be so rich. Yeah, who's we? You know what I'm saying? Who's we? Him and his fucking kids are fucking trading crypto under the table, keeping everything for themselves, writing the legislation on crypto while they're also, making NFTs and doing their own shit. Like everyone else is not winning. He is just stealing like he always does.
Is an entirely different place. And it was a candidate who ran on affordability, the exact same issues that people are running on across this country, Democrats. And, the White House has no answer for it. Everything that this president has done has actually increased costs. We know that the war in Iran is causing gas to go up. We know that it is shifting the markets. We know that the cost of living has continued to rise, housing, food, you name it. And that message plays well even in a place like Mar-a-Lago when people think opulence and superstar parties. At the end of the day, people want to be able to have an America where they felt like, pre-pandemic, they were able to afford things. They have best wishes for their children who graduated college. Now those same folks
like
are still
the America
they didn't
get, like the America they didn't get during the Biden administration. I get it. Those are all good. Those are all.
And see, like this is why I don't like these shows all that much. They kind of drive me insane. He had to but that was when the blue jerseys were out. Now that the red jersey, fuck you and your fucking game. Like, this is not a game. Like, he gets to float around and fly around the country and do these little TV spots. He's not in reality. For people who fucking, are mechanics and nurses and work at a warehouse and all that, like, for normal fucking people, you just throwing out, oh, well, the blue team was doing this and the red team. Like, no one gives a shit about that. No one cares. Just fix the fucking problems, dude. The assassination attempt turned the tables and fire people up also. A lot of people were false flagging that. and now I'll see if I can find the thing about Hungary, but we gotta watch this Giuliani clip next. But they're doing the same thing in Hungary, and they got caught in emails saying, oh, and then you should, or the Russian help that they were getting was like, and then we're gonna attempt a a fake assassination attempt, and that will get everybody on your side, like verbatim. I'll find it for you.
The White House, he has the
Those,
House,
those
he
are
has
good
the
points.
Senate,
But I
and
will say this. I will say this. These special elections, in my opinion, are not indicative of where the entire Democratic Party is. And I think you would even acknowledge that the party as a whole is still struggling to figure out what its national message is.
Let's talk more about this with T.W. Origi, former senior communications aide to Lindsey Graham and host of a new podcast.
He's Lindsey Graham's aide. Sheesh.
Along with his co-host Bill Evangelakis, called "What's Your Take?" And Herbie Ziskin, former White House Principal Deputy Communications Director under President Biden. Good to have both of you here. TW, I'll begin with you since you've got this new podcast.
Yeah.
What does it say if Republicans can't hold on to the Mar-a-Lago district?
Well, I always think it's a bit of a fool's errand, Laura, to look too deep into House races, state House
Seriously?
races. I do. It could be a data point for Democrats to show they're making progress, but it's a race that I would be shocked if many people in Palm Beach were really tracking in their day-to-day lives. This is honest.
Yeah, this doesn't even like you guys were like trying. You guys are such tryhards. You guys were like trying to win elections. Like we didn't even know. I didn't even know if there was an election or not. Like what an indictment on your constituency that you didn't even know that you had a seat available, and you're just like, well. Sometimes you win these little races. You know, what is that? A race that's supposed to be the representative of the people? Oh, I don't even keep track of these. Like what? Stop. Orban has been rehearsing his ear maxi pads advantage.
Endorsed the opponent. Obviously, he was tracking it.
He sure did. And there were a lot of other races.
Yeah, that idea fired people up even more than thinking a dude was with almost no shooting experience can hit an ear from 300 yards with a 30-06 is ridiculous. Like, dude, that's the thing that keeps killing me. That baffles me. From the last like public shootings that were like on camera or whatever. I'm not saying I'm a firearms like military expert, but I know what bullets do. What are they like? Charlie just got hit in the neck and it just did the thing. And it's like, and he shot him with a 30-06. That will kill an elk. That will remove an elk's skull. And he just had a little spurt out of his neck. Like, I don't know. Shit just don't be. And then what's his face got shot in the ear, and the ear is still there. Brother, I don't know how tough people think their ears are, but if a bullet gets through your skin, it is removing, it is cartilage. That shit is gone. What are you talking about? There's tons of old war dudes that have little, corners missing out of their ear. His ear is untouched. It's perfect.
Democrats have flipped before, but look, don't mistake these small things for macro things. So what I mean by that is if you look at the generic ballot right now, numbers just came out from Reuters the other day. Democrats hold a 2-point lead over Republicans in a generic congressional ballot. When you talk about 2018, the last big Democratic wave, this time they were up 9 points. That is a massive swing. Voters still believe that the Democrats have a massive brand problem. So I don't want to confuse perhaps Trump's dip in unpopularity with.
Yeah, so that just means the establishment Dems do not have a firm footing in the primaries, which is accurate because they don't. Like they had to spend $30 million to get Kat Abugazela out of the fucking, to get her into second place. And the person that they spent $20 million on fucking got third. She had zero money from PACs. So as much as these guys are over here coping as hard as they fucking can. This is cope. That's exactly what it is. Motherfuckers, Democrats and Republicans are in trouble. The people are coming.
Democratic popularity. The energy's on the Democratic side, but we're a long way from Election Day 2026.
What do you think, Herbie?
I think this is a flashing bright red light for the Republican Party. This is a seat.
There's the other angle when they quickly usher the press photographers in, totally bogus, and then lifted the flag up and shit. And like, brother, you're telling me you got the president out there at an outdoor event and y'all don't have plexiglass riot shields? You don't have anything to put over his body in case there is a shooting. What are we talking about? Like, if they're moving a prisoner from like the jailhouse to the courthouse and he has to be outside for like, you know, that 30 steps or whatever, they have full on protection but they didn't have any of that shit. They got a fucking 5'2" female Secret Service lady out in front with the sunglasses on and a ponytail looking like straight out of Central Casting. Like, it seemed real off. Like, the response was off. Everything was kind of off. That's never been done. They use human shields. I'm saying, no, the motherfucker, it's 2026. They have them everywhere. And then they're fucking like, oh, wait, can I get my shoes? I need my shoes. You know what I'm saying? Like, it didn't seem like a panicked, oh, let's get this guy the fuck out of here. Put up the walls, grab the shields and do all that. Like, they didn't do none of that shit. 2 snipers on the roof already had their weapons trained in the radar. Like, what is happening? Hey, Tons. What's up, Tons? You missed the bird video.
That the Republican in 2024 won by 19 points, and the Republicans just lost this seat. And it's not one data point, it's over 25 data points, over 24 races nationally in swing districts and Republican seats that Democrats have won since 2024. And it shows the president has...
Yeah, because they didn't want Kamala. There wasn't a primary. They didn't want it.
Iran.
To Iran.
Iranian leaders have rejected a ceasefire proposal that was put forth by the Trump administration. Instead, Iran has issued its own counterproposal, and sources are telling CNN that Iranians would rather negotiate with Vice President J.D. Vance and not President Trump. Meanwhile,
damn, bro. You so nasty. They said, bring forth Jason Daniel or whatever the fuck his name is.
That country continues to launch strikes.
What is it? Jonathan Daniel?
On Israel, and the president is sending more troops to the region.
John Donald?
Ed O'Keefe has his
I think it's John Donald.
wrap up from the White House.
Even as Iran continues to launch missiles towards Israel and other Gulf nations,
we're in negotiations right now.
President Trump claimed the
negotiations, you say?
No, the lie detector determined that was a lie.
regime is so near defeat, it has no choice but to negotiate an end to the war.
We killed all their leadership, and then they met to choose new leaders, and we killed all of them. And now we have a new group.
What makes you trust them?
Do you think I trust them? I don't trust them.
Well, then why bother talking to them?
Because they're going to make a deal. They're going to make a deal.
But how do you make a deal with somebody you don't trust? That's what, like, he's not Jack Daniels. Thank you. I heard you have those sweet Persian couches. The dinner should definitely held. Yes. And even if she would have came out on top because she was the VP, at least she would have had everybody's support, and people could have galvanized behind her, and she could have listened to the people when they were saying, you're going to stop funding Israel, right? And then she would have been like, right. Or I'm going to lose. Right. Right.
Yeah, they did something yesterday that was amazing, actually. They gave us a present, and the present arrived today. It was a very big present worth a tremendous amount of money.
Okay. We gotta get into the speculation corner here. What is he talking about? What is he talking about?
And I'm not going to tell you what that present is.
The president would only say the present involves oil and gas and the Strait of Hormuz. Average gas prices are now nearing $4 a gallon nationwide. But even as indirect negotiations continue, the U.S. is preparing to send about 1,000 members.
You think it was a plane? Another plane? Arose to introduce bill to fund Iran war amid fight over DHS shutdown. Party intends to craft bill using reconciliation, which will allow it to circumvent Senate filibuster. Was the present a wooden horse? They gave me this giant horse. It's a little hollow, I think, on the inside. It's not a solid horse. It's almost like there's a big cavity inside this horse that could be filled with anything. Let me pull it into my bedroom. Oh, nice. Nice, Tiz. Kamala wasn't a good candidate if they ran Tulsi Gabbard. Maybe they... Dude, no. No. Are you fucking crazy? Tulsi Gabbard is a fucking spy, dude. Are you crazy? She's a spy. She's a straight up fucking spy. No way, dude. People with child extremes and the women Democrat have a tendency of using the word salad. Dude, you can't fucking say the Democratic women use word salad when Trump. You want me to go back and play what Trump said again? Are you kidding me? That motherfucker is the definition, the picture of fucking word salad. Ooh, $7. Oof. Or 25. Yeah, they gave him a McDonald's gift card so we can get all the fries and Diet Cokes he wants up to $25. Whichever comes first. Ellerfly. Howdy.
The Army's 82nd Airborne Division, who specialize in parachuting into hostile territory. Also,
bro, she's not using word salad. She's just a fucking lawyer. She talks like a lawyer.
on the way, about 5,000 U.S. Marines, adding to more than 50,000 American troops already in the region. Possible targets,
He says, Chrissy says, look, America wasn't ready to have a female president, let alone a female president of color. Well, they're not going to have a choice now. I think it's when it was full of condoms. It says Trojan on the side of it.
Island, Iran's key oil shipping depot, or even the Iranian coastline to help secure the strait.
Because I can tell you guys right now, men, presidents, not a great track record. Things are going swimmingly from us picking old, crusty white dudes on repeat.
But even some Republicans have called on the president to clarify his plan.
It's not about sex or race. People are tired of that too. Well, then people need to not be bigots, because people are bigots. Like when you get done talking and when I get done talking, there's still going to be bigots out there and they still vote. People still fucking send text messages to their, little group chat of friends saying racist and sexist shit. It still happens every day. So pretending like it doesn't happen and we should just act like everything's fine is moronic. Like, people have to grow the fuck up. Like, you can't just be a bigot in closet and expect your decision making to not reveal your private conversations.
The White House really does need to articulate the plan so that people aren't reacting to their own hypothetical deployment of what troops on the ground looks like.
Despite the skepticism, the Senate failed for the third time last night to pass a war powers resolution that would have reined in war operations. The 47-53 vote split mostly along party lines. The House is not expected to hold a similar vote. Ed O'Keefe.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Let's see what Iran has to say about the talks that they're having.
Reports that negotiations are underway between the US and Iran have failed to stop attacks across the Middle East. It's been nearly 4 weeks since the US and Israel attacked Iran.
I think we're in day 26.
Launching a war with global consequences. While all sides initially said there was no room for diplomacy, President Trump now says the US has been negotiating with an unnamed Iranian leader, a claim that Iranian officials have once again denied. Well, overnight, airstrikes hit the Iranian capital of Tehran again. The Red Crescent there says a residential area was attacked. That was as Iran announced former IRGC commander Mohammad Bagher Zolgadar as its new security chief. He replaces...
And see, this is I want people to get this image in your head, right? All of you Americans out there that are like, yeah, we're going to bomb them and then they'll be our friends.
That was as Iran announced.
Does this look like a gesture of friendship? Them having the emergency crews out there in the middle of the night, unburying people from rubble. This is not going to work. They're not going to like us because we did this. They're not going to, and they've already said they're not scared of us and they're not ready to, like, they're not about to be oppressed. This is just making us look bad. Like the rest of the world is looking at us bomb a country that has no way of bombing us back. Like we just look bad.
Announced former IRGC commander Mohammed Baga Zolgada as its new security chief. He replaces Ali Larijani, who was killed in a US-Israeli strike last week. And these were the skies over central Israel early on Wednesday. Missiles and interceptions have been seen across the country.
Yeah, this was totally happening every day before fucking Trump decided to bomb them with Israel. Like this wasn't happening before. So while people keep telling me I'm so naive and I don't understand global politics and this, that, and the third, believe what you want to believe, but the proof is in the pudding every fucking time. If you didn't strike them, they didn't strike back in retaliation. You assassinated a leader, you got struck. You didn't assassinate a leader, you didn't get struck. Like they're not, like they're retaliating every fucking time. Stop fucking attacking them and go fucking talk. Like knock the shit off. But you can't fucking keep murdering the people who you're supposed to negotiate with. And then like there's no blowback, there's no fallout, there's no nothing. Like what are you talking about? We put the British on their fucking ear over tea.
Iran and ally Hezbollah have been launching daily waves of strikes there. On Tuesday, they killed at least one person and injured more than a dozen. Well, Iranian officials have responded to...
I think they made a mistake and made an assumption that the Iranians would take over their country, but they didn't. What do you mean take over their country? They're under the fucking boot of like a multi-tiered system. And all they did was take out like the top most useless part of the system. And they said, come on, guys, rise up. Like I'm telling you, bro, like these people have done no fucking research into Iran itself. They have no idea how the country is set up. They have no idea how the their Ayatollah system works. Like Trump's like, I want to be in charge of picking the next Ayatollah. Bitch, are you an imam? Are you part of the 88 council of imams that decide who it is? Like they don't understand any of this shit. They got fucking baited into bombing, just like fucking JD Vance said. They got baited into bombing somewhere, and now there is like Iran's not letting you out. Right? They're not taking like the fucking peaceful play. Like they have no plans on being peaceful. Kay, they were talking about the Secret Service. Politics do it's called the Secret. Yeah. Pudding. Someone say pudding? Where? I call it. That's my pudding. I left it there. But this is not like, again, the emergency crews out in the middle of the fucking night, and then fucking Israel, everybody living in a fucking bomb shelter. Like, is this better? All the gas prices destabilized, everything's, all the markets all fucked up. Is this better? This is worse. This is arguably worse. And there's ways of trying to free the Iranian people, and it's called not having them be fucking sanctioned to 1000%. You know what I'm saying? And then have the fuck like it's just like the fucking war on drugs. And they're like, but the cartel, how does it keep getting so strong? It's like, first of all, you should have decriminalized weed a long time ago. And also you should stop fucking selling them weapons. Maybe then things would calm down. But this is Western society doing what it does.
Trump's latest comments about negotiations with defiance. In a new statement, a spokesman for the armed forces said Iran would never compromise with the United States.
Do not call your defeat an agreement. The era of your promises is over. Today, the world has two fronts, truth and falsehood. And every freedom-seeking person will not be deceived by the waves of your media.
Bro, does he sound scared of us? Like, what are we doing right now? Stop.
Has the level of your internal conflicts reached the point where you are negotiating with yourselves? There will be no sign of your investments in the region, nor will you see the previous prices of energy and oil until you understand this. Stability in the region is guaranteed by the powerful hand of our armed forces. Stability comes through power.
Fuck. I mean, the JCPOA was working. But because fucking Lindsey Graham and Netanyahu got in his fucking ear and said, no, tear up the nuclear deal. That's bullshit. They shouldn't be getting fucking, they had a whole pallet of money that they flew over there and they got all that cash and that. Bro, you just released the fucking sanctions on their oil. They got 100 planes worth of cash now. Like, this is so back. Like, you're just making everything worse. Just don't fucking, just don't touch it. Just don't touch it. You don't know what you're doing. Just don't touch it.
Tahid Asadi joins us live now from the Iranian capital. Tahid, so what more response?
Fucking 9-year-old who fucking found a screwdriver and just started taking every fucking electronic in the house apart. I never did that.
Have we heard then from Iranian officials about Trump's claims of talks to end the war?
Well, actually, except for the statement that we just heard from the spokesperson for the joint military headquarters of Khatam al-Anbiya, publicly speaking, we don't have any reaction to that, except, and of course, it goes without saying that we just heard from the Speaker of the Parliament, Mohammad Bagher Ghalibaf, as well as the spokesperson for the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Ismail Baghai, both coming out to say that right now there is no negotiation taking place.
Then Trump got up there and fucking lied on camera talking about some, yeah, we had good talks. And they're like, oh, cool. Who'd you talk to? Huh? Mike. Mike. I was talking to Mike or John. Mike or John. But he's very high up. Very, very, very high senior. I think he's an Ayatollah. Because again, he just makes up shit and he doesn't fucking understand how the fucking titles work. Like the dude's fucking faking it, man. He got us into a fucking war, and now he's trying to fake like he knows what the fuck is happening because he doesn't get real information. Like, they just spoon feed him dribble, and he believes it. Like, he thinks Truth Social is still, like, the way to go. Like, bro, no one is on, like, his own posts get, like, 11,000 likes because there's only, like, 11,000 people on the fucking app. There's no one there. He is in a complete communication bubble and has no idea what's actually happening anymore.
With the United States, but still we know that Iran is engaged in actually a trajectory of diplomatic engagement, not with the U.S., but with the regional countries and beyond. We know that Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi has had different phone conversations with his counterparts from Egypt, from Pakistan, from Oman, and from different countries.
Hi, Eileen. Eileen says, I thank you for speaking your mind. America needs many more like you. Well, thank you. But world would, I'm guessing, be way more peaceful if the American left knew how to acquire influence and power, incompetent beyond belief. And it's for fucking money. It's for money. Like, they're literally just like burying progressive candidates for money. Money of all things. Like, all of this shit is happening for money. As if these people are desperate and broke and destitute and need more money. It's all been for money. What a waste.
And that is indicative of the continuation of a sort of diplomatic engagement. However, even when it comes to indirect messaging between Tehran and Washington, regardless of the reports about the 15-point proposal by the United States, we don't have any official confirmation in that regard, and we don't know whether something is going on behind.
Yeah, they're going to try to use the Strait of Hormuz to be like fucking the Suez Canal, and they're going to say, all right, we want a toll for everybody going through now. And that'll be part of their peace agreement, is that they get to just toll everything, again, for money. That's true. It's about money because it's economic warfare against China. China is fine, dude. China is doing great. They're transitioning away from a lot of oil. They don't have a ton in the country, but they got cash. They got 18 or $20 trillion of American debt. They got plenty.
Behind the closed doors or not, but still we are we have to keep an eye on the context in which these reports are coming out. First, there is this complexity element, juxtaposed to the previous time when the two countries were engaged in negotiation, once back in June last year, and the second one was actually taking place when all of a sudden, just very much similar to June, the country faced a campaign of airstrikes. Now we see a more complicated situation. And of course, a second element is this cloud of mistrust.
Fucking Robert says, what? Iran is fighting back? That's not supposed to happen. They should just surrender like the enemy did in Nam or Korea or any other country the U.S. went to, like Iceland. I mean, I don't know who told them or who convinced Trump that this would be, because he was riding high off of that fucking Venezuela, because their fucking vice president betrayed Maduro, even though she was part of his crooked ass scheme. She backstabbed him, got Maduro up out of there. And he was like, oh, this is going to be like that. We just send in some helicopters, a couple of bombs. We get rid of the Ayatollah. We're golfing by Friday night, baby. No, you big fucking moron. No. And like, how can you be so fucking like, he's 80, bro. He's been around for a while. You didn't pay attention to none of this shit about Iran over your 80 fucking years on this planet, and I'm not even 40, and I know more about the fucking region than he does, and he's the fucking president. We got a problem here, guys. We got a major problem. Oh, let me go over to the thing so I can click it. I wish you could click links inside StreamYard, whatever this is called, StreamYard. Yeah, I wish you could actually click it. That would be easier for me.
That surrounds the atmosphere when it comes to Iran-U.S. deteriorated relations.
He's helping Russia and hurting China in reality economically, because now China has to buy from Russia. But they're buying it, but they're already friends. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a global market, so I don't give a shit. Like, Russia has been made solvent. All the bleeding that Ukraine has been doing off of their resources and towards their economy and all this shit, they've made all that back now. They are literally fucking this up. Like, if this was like a chess move or a chess game, and every single chess move that Trump takes, we lose that piece. Like, every time we move a knight out somewhere or we slide a bishop up, that piece is captured. And it's like, dude, stop fucking touching the pieces, because clearly you don't understand how this game works. You keep putting our shit right in front of a pawn, and we keep losing our rooks to fucking pawns. Like, stop. He doesn't know what he's doing, and he's trying to figure it out as he goes, and he's getting fucking advice from Netanyahu and Lindsey Graham and Mike Huckabee, these obvious fucking war hawks who pretty much just want to kill Muslim people, unless the Muslim people are giving them billions of dollars for AI money. You know what I mean? Like, unless they come bearing gifts, then they just need to be slaughtered. And that's fucking like, dude, you can't, there's an entire rest of the planet. There's 1 billion plus Muslims on the earth. You're just going to start like picking fights with all of them because they worship a different God? Bro, if you don't get these fucking gas prices down and sit your stupid ass down, ain't nobody got time for all this. Yeah, king me. He's over here playing Connect 4 with fucking chess pieces. Like, aha. Problem with Label Things MAGA is that nobody completely agrees with what that is or what it represents. This allows you to warp things and push your opinions comfortably. They did vote for this. This is the guy. The guy is the president. So I don't know what you're talking about. I'm saying though, like, this is you can't. It's just like Biden was too fucking old. Reagan was too fucking old. And then, like, the exposés and the books come out after the fact. Yeah, he was struggling with dementia for the last 2 years of his presidency. Like, last 2 years of his presidency, motherfucker, when they was locking up black folks, that motherfucker had dementia. Like, we have a 25th Amendment for a fucking reason. Like, I don't, like, nothing is working as he expected because all of his plans were dumb. Yeah, I think there's footage of the hypersonic missiles in here. Billy says most people have no idea about Iran. I said to people Iran has stage 4 ICBMs. They don't believe me. And I told them that they have hypersonic missiles and they have no idea what that means. I mean, they have all those things and Americans were never attacked. You know what I mean? Like, I hate to be that guy, but they weren't attacking American assets. They were subjugating their own people. Those, if you have an open market where there is upward mobility and people are able to form unions and people are able to improve the daily goings on of their own lives, their material needs, without the assistance of a petro oil state, then they can have that rise up. You know what I'm saying? They can get away from these things. Their culture can transition from something that's more chaotic and violent to something that's less chaotic and violent. But that doesn't fucking happen when we are pouring violence on the situation. You know, like if Canada fucking came in and started attacking America during the Civil War, what does that do to, like, you know, our progress forward into equal rights for people? But they can't get their shit started if we're constantly blowing them the fuck up. Leave them the fuck alone. If people want to like, but when you say, all right, well, let's let the refugees come here if they want to flee there. Well, I don't want them coming here. I want them to just do what I want them to do over there. No, shut up. If you don't want them to come over to them, just like Venezuela, they fucking said all them fucking people coming from Venezuela, in the migrant caravans and stuff like that, and like, oh, they're coming from Venezuela because they're part of Maduro's evil regime and they're gonna spread it here in America. Tren de Aragua. But when people are fucking fleeing Tren de Aragua and they're fleeing Maduro and they've been targeted by that regime and they come to America for asylum, they fucking deport the people back down there. And then fucking 6 months later, they fucking kidnap Maduro and bring him to the States. So it's like, what the fuck are y'all talking about? If these people are bad, then why are you punishing the people trying to flee from them? You know, like why are you not allowing people to flee the bad guy? But you want them to stay there with the bad guy with no money, no arms, no anything, and just, you know, take it over. Just go fight that tank with your machete. We don't do that. We didn't do that. But because they're brown, they have to just, you know, suffer and die because we said so? No. And that neocon thinking is dying on the vine, as some of them like to say.
And it goes without saying also that Iran says as long as the airstrikes continue, it's not relevant to talk about any diplomatic engagement.
Yeah, meanwhile, Tahid, attacks have continued across Iran. Tell us what's been happening briefly.
Well, over the past 24 hours, I can say it's the continuation of the campaign of airstrikes that Americans and Israelis began. And here across the capital last night, we heard sounds of massive explosions. And of course, air defense activation is also reported not only in the capital, but also in other cities. But beyond the capital, we know that in different cities, such as Isfahan, we know that it has been reported that
a missile just went through your whole fucking house. Now go fight your government. What the fuck kind of sense are we trying to make right now?
There are other after sounds of explosion being heard. And of course, added to that is Shiraz and areas in the vicinity of Karaj, located in the western parts of Tehran, as well as Qazvin. We are receiving reports about the continuation on the one hand, and of course on the other hand, we know that Iran is talking about the continuation of its retaliatory strikes, the 80th wave of which IRGC says has been started. And that means basically, since we're dealing with this exchange of fire, we are at any point not close to de-escalation.
Tahid Asadi in Tehran, thank you.
Great. No de-escalation in sight. That's exactly what we all wanted to hear. Okay. So Gina sent me this. So she said there's some good timestamps on here. Let's see if she's telling the truth.
Honest election. So this law, one would think, is going to be Jim Crow.
Oh, this is a gold mine. Gina, you perfect little angel.
One would think is going to be Jim Crow.
My button didn't work, bitch. I'm pushing it. Oh, you know what? Maybe I have to close the whole program. No, this is getting captured. And I hate old Rudolph. You were supposed to be America's mayor. Oops, wrong button. Windows G. There we go. You were supposed to be America's mayor, and you turned out to be a crook. A filthy crook. Okay. I think I got it now. Will it work? Let's test. Still doesn't do anything. What the What the F? Oh, here we go. USB. Yes. Okay. Okay. I think I fixed it. All right, let's go back a couple seconds.
This law, one would think, is going to be Jim Crow. The reality is that almost every...
Oh my God, this is his channel? Oh, Rudolph. Oh, Rudolph, how far we have fallen. All right, 11. All right, that was 2:59. Next timestamp is 11. Oops. Oh, what the hell am I doing now? There we go. 11:38. 11:29. Let's play.
The reason you say that is the federal government used to get itself off the hook by saying, well, they're all going to get paid at the end anyway, which just kind of makes it really stupid. It makes it really stupido.
That's
oh
right.
my God.
Stupid, which just kind of makes it really stupid. It makes it really stupido.
That's right, man.
They're going to get the money, except you're going to have some.
They're still calling him mayor. Bro, he hasn't been the mayor in fucking 30 years. Get out of here.
People starve. Or maybe have to quit when we don't want them to quit.
We thought that.
Why don't you just fund them? Gee, I mean.
No, they're not getting funded because you're just going to give that money to fucking ICE and they don't want to be accountable. So if you don't want to be accountable, you don't get any fucking money. That's how the government works.
Have in your head.
Lies.
Well, free of all the garbage they have in it. God almighty, it just keeps coming out of their mouths.
Yes.
Free of all this garbage you have in your head.
Lies.
Well, free of all the garbage they have in it. God almighty, it just keeps coming out of their mouths.
Yes.
All the garbage you have in your head.
Lies.
Well, free of all the garbage they have in it. God almighty, it just keeps coming out of their mouths.
Yes.
So now that's.
I like how he's got a hype man. Is that how me and Tim are? Where one of us just starts ranting like, yes, Tim. Yes, Mr. Mayor Tim. Oh no. Is Gina showing me this to tell me who I am? Oh no. I feel exposed. All right, here's another one.
Injured a dozen. He had all kinds of Iranian Muslim stuff in his car. Wonder why he did it.
What the fuck?
Injured a dozen. He had all kinds of Iranian Iranian Muslim stuff in his car.
Iranian Muslim stuff. Oh my God, dude. And I need all of you American. Hey, Daily Buzz. Hey, what up? What up? You guys gotta get over this whole like Muslim Christian thing. You guys are like pretty much doing the like the album and the B-sides of the same fucking album. You know what I mean? Like you're doing the same thing. You're doing the same thing. He said he can't smell Jim Crow. Oh man. Stupido. Let me go to the next one. Oh my God. 129.23. 129. Can't see. I can't see. 120. It's like the numbers are white on the white, like dislike, show comments, all the like little menu buttons are like right there on top of it. I can't see nothing. Oh, there it is. 128.46. I need to get to 129.23. Okay, I'm at 21.
I'd like to think we'd get more than 3.
Yeah. They're pathetic. They are effing pathetic.
Oh, yeah, that's good. Oh, that's money. Oh, that's money. Gina, I love you. You sweet little summer blossom. Yes. That's what
You would have hit with $10,000.
With 0 training, I'd like to think we'd get more than 3.
Yeah. They're pathetic. They are effing pathetic. They're pathetic. They are effing pathetic.
Oh, that's so good.
It is unbelievably ridiculous.
Oh, that's so good.
And the only reason that we just don't end it completely is we don't want to kill civilians.
He didn't get the shoe polish on his hair today. Remember, he went out there sweating like a pig. They're like, here, take some hair dye, Rudy. It'll make you look younger. It's like, you think so? You really think so? Oh, yeah. You look like you're what, mid-30s? Wow. This is good stuff. Oh, all you can do is laugh. These are clowns. Absolute clowns. Let's see. Is this it? Oh, I took a lot of clips. Let me see. Is this it? There we go. Yeah, baby. Yeah, baby. This is good. Come on.
Pathetic. They are effing pathetic.
Yes. Yes. Sweet, sweet success is mine. Oh, that was lovely. Thank you very much, Miss Gina. Those are excellent contributions. Let me see if I can grab another one here without it crashing. Oh, shit.
He had all kinds of Iranian
Oh, yeah. There it is. This is it. This is it. This is way when we get Gina, when we get trolls in the chat, I'm gonna hit him with the
stupido.
There we go. Oh my God, what an absolute gold mine. Who knew Rudy Giuliani was out there hitting the old podcast grindstone every second Thursday or whatever the fuck his show is on? Rudy Giuliani has 506,000 subscribers. His stream that lasted almost over 90 minutes got 2.2K views. That percentage is atrocious.
Jim Crow.
Oh man, that's funny. All right, let me get back to the playlist. Thank you again. So while everyone's afraid of normal stuff, I have very specific irrational fears. This is one of them.
2, 1.
Yes, so everything is good. Everything's fine. Yeah. Well done. Signal. So the particles are still there.
Brother, they are moving antimatter out of the lab and taking it to another lab. I didn't want there to be dimensional war in my timeline. I wanted that to be in someone else's timeline.
We are super happy that we managed for the first time to transport antimatter out of this facility, in particular antiprotons, because this opens in principle an entire new universe for precision measurements outside of CERN.
You're all familiar probably with electrons and protons, and antiprotons are antiparticles for protons, which means that they are basically identical particles, but they have opposite properties like charge or magnetic moment. And what is special about antiprotons is that they don't exist naturally in the observed universe. That's why it's so very difficult to actually produce them and store them.
Why would you even say something like this? A fucking orca on a fucking chopper is my worst nightmare. Expose Elon's manipulation of voter information post voting, but pre-reported and instate our rightful President Harris now. I think, so here's the thing. Kier, why didn't she fight? Because it was like she was hitting a level of votes, and then all of those votes that came in after that were going to Trump, right? Like, I'm definitely on board with something smells weird with the election numbers. Like, the data doesn't look indicative of every other election before it, right? It looks like it's been processed. She didn't fucking take anything to court. She didn't fight back on anything. She's just like, oh, I guess I lost. Goodbye. I'm going to write a book. And it's like, dude, that motherfucker launched a fucking coup to try to stay in office. And y'all wouldn't even say, hey, can we look at this? Can we just take a second look at this? So I am pro matter, actually, not antimatter. Yeah, I bet they will send us the thing. This is it's not going to go anywhere. They're just going to end up fucking putting a Suez Canal like toll on there, and Trump's going to run away with his hands in his pockets. Hey, that's good, because she is loved over here. And Werther's original candies. Not liberal bullshit, that's for sure. Okay. You're just liberal socialism. Okay. I'm going to need you to look up what those words mean and then come back over here and try that again. Antimatter. What about uncles? Uncles are always left out, you know?
And to transport them. And we managed to do it today for the first time, to transport them around CERN in a truck, in a penning truck.
And what is difficult in this antimatter transport is, first of all, to keep the trap autonomous, to keep it cold, to keep it on batteries, but then to maintain the vacuum. Today, we were transporting 92 antiprotons. To compare this with a grain of salt had something like 10 to the 18 protons inside. So compared to this, you know, this is a billion times a billion less times a factor of 100 or 92. So these were only.
And then it's going to become sentient and eat us all. We're going to have a quark collapse. Like, how does this end the world? Because there's no, it's just going to end the world. Mikey, if those MAGA could read, they'd be very upset right now. Yeah, I shouldn't. I'm being ableist by, you know, just reading things that they don't like.
very few particles, but these particles are in principle, because our experiments are so sensitive, sufficient to do ultra high precision investigation. And this means we are inventing here a new type of precision microscope for antimatter particles with which we can look for fundamental symmetry tests and search for physics beyond the standard model that might maybe even help us explaining why our universe is made dominantly out of matter rather than antimatter.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Just as soon as they unplug it, just nuclear detonation. I mean, this is cool stuff, and this is very interesting stuff. If anybody is unaware, I'm a huge space nerd. So I need them to further flesh out and look in the nooks and crannies and in between the couch cushions of the standard model, so that we can figure out what dark energy and dark matter are. But we can't figure that out until we get a little bit closer to figuring out more about string theory and rounding out what we might think are gaps in the standard model, so that I can fucking sleep at night and not worry about, a black hole approaching from the glare spot of the sun that we'd never see coming, and then we'll all be spaghettified in a matter of 10 to the minus 30 seconds. Gross. No, that's one of the main reasons I hate Elon, is because he's ruining space. He's ruining it. He doesn't know what he's doing, and he's just throwing money at the problem. It's the Majin symbol. Yes. See, now we're just trying to let you know that's actually anti-protons. Anti-protons in a cold trip. Exactly. Landon, how are they trying to hurt us with this? Stop, Tons. You know I'm not done with that show, but it's fucking me up, man. That show is fucking crazy. Everybody go watch Dark. It's an amazing show. And watch it in German, because the German actors are muy incredibile. What's this? Mike Johnson?
President Trump has railed against mail-in voting as rigged.
Oh, right. This is what I wanted to talk about. Oh, yeah. I forgot to bring this up when I was talking about Florida. So Trump's home district in Mar-a-Lago, I think that's Florida 14. I can't remember what the number is for the district, but the Mar-a-Lago district, a Democrat wins that seat. Trump voted in that election from DC. How's that, you ask? He fucking mailed in his fucking ballot because he didn't want to fly down there to his district to vote at his polling place like everybody else has to do. So what did he do? He fucking mailed in his fucking ballot, like a lot of people do, like a lot of college kids do, like every single deployed soldier does, like rural people do, like people who are differently abled when it comes to mobility, the elderly. A lot of people do mail-in voting. So does Trump.
Said it's a form of cheating as recently as Monday. But he's also called on Congress to do away with certain types of mail-in voting in certain circumstances. But in yesterday's special election in Florida, he voted by mail. How do you square those two statements?
Look, I think some states have handled mail-in balloting well. I think Florida is a good example of that. They don't allow fraud, and they have great systems. I was talking yesterday to Laurel Lee.
Yeah, okay, sure. Okay, sure, my ass, divine. Because that motherfucker and SpaceX are supposed to be in charge of the Artemis mission and getting us a rocket that once they get out of low Earth orbit and we do our little slingshot maneuver, they're supposed to get all the way to the moon, and then they're supposed to slow down and stop or go into an orbit around the moon, and then they're supposed to have a craft that goes down, goes back up, and then is capable of launching back to Earth. SpaceX has been in charge of those last two vehicles, and they have had nothing to fucking show for it. So they've been scrubbing launches. They've been launching extra satellites. They've been testing things again because they fucking put their trust in Elon Musk to fucking complete a task, and he can't fucking do it. He doesn't know how, and the people behind him are trying to do things his way, and his way is fucking stupid because he doesn't understand anything about fucking space. He's not a genius. He's just a rich bitch who cheats at video games. Never trust somebody who cheats at video games.
one of our colleagues here in the House, and she used to help run elections in the state of Florida. And she talked about how many great processes they have in place to ensure that you don't have a lot of fraud. But that is not true in other parts of the country. And that is the concern, especially in a state like California or states where they just send mail-in ballots to everyone for no reason whatsoever. It is a matter.
And here's my thing. If all these paper ballots are getting mailed back to people, they're still going through like a Scantron machine, like the electronic like reader machine that like reads your pencil or pen mark or whatever. And then that's fed into a computer. The computer knows who's voting. Like, I don't understand. Like, it's just such a weird fundamental misunderstanding of ballots and voting. Maybe he's in Louisiana. Maybe they don't do it that way. Maybe it's just on the back of a fucking, McDonald's Big Mac box wrapper. Maybe that's how they vote down there. But these ballots are very, because you have the main thing is, especially when you don't have like open primaries and stuff like that, or open generals, you need a specific ballot. Like there's a Democratic ballot and a Republican ballot. Like you need either one. Like you need to be part of that party to even vote in that election, right? And you have to know when it is, and you have to go to your specific polling place. So this radical notion that no one keeps up with these votes. No, there's fucking workers, dude. Like there's a whole fucking like economy behind this. Like people work at this thing and that's their job. And they just have a very boring job and they just make sure that the, things are scanned and then kept in a specific manner to maintain chain of custody. And then after so much time, they're all destroyed. And then they wait for the next election. Like it's a civic duty. It's like jury duty. It's like shoveling the Capitol Hall steps when a snowstorm comes. It's just a thing that people do to help us keep our society running. And then to just like not understand any of how it works, even though he's won quite a few elections, he seems to know fucking nothing about how voting works, especially I almost said international, but nationwide voting.
Concern, especially in a state like California or states where they just send mail-in ballots to everyone for no reason whatsoever. It is a matter of common sense. It is an obvious thing that if you're mailing ballots out, inherently, it opens the door, at least the possibility of fraud. It's much easier to patrol that election integrity if you're making people come in person, show a photo ID, and prove who they are. Obviously, that's an obvious thing. It should not.
But that's not what the bill says. And I hope all the little MAGA people that are still in here, they're being pretty respectful today. But I hope they understand. Like, I'll play what he said one more time.
Integrity, if you're making people come in person, show a photo ID, and prove who they are. Obviously, that's an obvious thing. It should not be a controversial notion. That's what the president's talking about. That's what we have talked about at long.
And that is a fucking lie. It's already like that in most states. What they're talking about is that your ID needs to show your place of origin or it needs to show your citizenship. Your driver's license does not show your citizenship. So if you try to present your driver's license, they can say, that doesn't prove you're a citizen. I need something that proves you're a citizen. And what are the two documents that show that? Your birth certificate and a passport. And that's it. So they keep spreading this lie like you'll be able to just bring in your driver's license or your state ID or something like that and that'll cover it. Nope. That will not cover it. They can just throw your ballot away. No fucking passport, no vote. So unless y'all want to start get it, and also, by the way, I like how they're bringing this up. It takes about like I'd say 3 to 6 months for your passport to come to your house. And you want how many hundreds of millions of people to start getting passports? It's going to be an extreme backlog. They are doing this on purpose to make sure that your punk ass out there hating on me cannot vote. Like that is the plan, is to make sure that everyone with a passport can vote and everybody that doesn't have a passport does not get to vote. So I hope you all have passports. Like they're thinking, oh, well, this'll get him. No, he's going to get his own people too. And the mailing voting, that's mostly old people, mostly old rural people who are not typically Democrats. So this voter disenfranchisement, you're gonna have big problems on your hand. Lying to people, telling them that all they need is their ID, and they're gonna show up with their ID, and it ain't gonna be sufficient. They're gonna send them away.
Obviously, that's an obvious thing. It should not be.
Just give every American a free passport or photo ID. I'm fine with that. If you want everybody to have a voter ID, like a specific voter ID, and you have to prove citizenship to get it, and it's got your picture on it, and it expires every 10 years or whatever, that's fine. But you can't charge for it. You can't charge for it because that, in essence, is a poll tax. 14th Amendment. You can't incur a cost on people to exercise their right to vote. You can't charge people money for that. And also a passport is at least $150. When me and the wife went, I think we ended up spending almost for our honeymoon because we got the expedited thing because we wanted to make sure we got our passport in time. But it was, I mean, we were probably within about 8 days of not having passports and not being able to go on our cruise for our honeymoon. Like, it takes a long time to get that paperwork. And especially since they've been doging everybody, who knows how many fucking people even work there now? Or if that department is part of DHS, there might not even, if those people aren't getting paid, they're not fucking running through your fucking documents to make sure that you're to verify all. They're not going to do that. So all these people are going to fucking sign up for a passport, and they're just going to be $150 poorer, and it's going to be a year and a half before they get their shit. When I had to get my my firearms permit in Illinois, there was such a backlog, something that was supposed to take, like, I think they said like six to 8 weeks. It took me 11 months. They had they usually, I think they said they process like 1,200 or something a year. And like the month of February, this is from memory here, but I think in the month of February and March and something like that, the amount of people applying to get their FOID card, firearms operator ID, went from, like, you know, just the 1,200, 1,500 to, it was like 28,000. And then the next month was like 40,000. And then next month was like 30,000. Like, it was like just exponentially more people. And that is exactly what's going to happen with the passport office, because I think it's over half of Americans don't have a passport right now. I think it's close to half Americans have never left the country. They've never traveled internationally, whether it's because of means, whether it's because they just couldn't find a cool enough place to go, whatever the case may be. Most people don't just have a passport. I've been traveling internationally, luckily, since I was like 14. So I've had a passport since I was 14, and I've just renewed it a couple of times. Same thing with my wife. She did traveling in her teens. So she already had her passport, and then she got hers. We got hers renewed. Like, I'm used to traveling around the world and dealing with other people and having my documents in order, because, you know, you have to have what you need before you leave the house, because you're not always going to be able to come back. I don't think Americans are prepared for this. Like, they don't have what people are going to be demanding of them.
A controversial notion. That's what the president's talking about. That's what we have talked about at long length. Some states do it a lot better than others, but it doesn't mean it's not a problem elsewhere in the country, and that's why we continue.
Yep. Everyone should have some photo ID or some kind of vote, but we should give people the ability to get an ID for free. Boom, problem solved. But for us, I'm in Illinois. We have voters cards that come to your house where you're registered to vote, and it tells you like where your polling place is, and only you get it. If someone comes up with that, it's them. You know,
we need to advance every election integrity measure that we can, because again, if you don't have free and fair elections in a constitutional republic, you cannot maintain it.
And if the president doesn't fucking follow the Constitution, then why are you arguing about fucking voter ID when you fucking vote for a guy who swears to protect and serve the Constitution and protect everybody's rights and does literally the opposite? So which is it that you want?
And if you don't have free and fair elections in a constitutional republic, you cannot maintain it. And there's hardly a more important issue than that. That's where the
Yeah, whatever. Good luck. Good luck trying to stick ice in all the fucking polling places and then telling people that their fucking ID isn't good enough to vote anymore. Yeah, let me know how that works out for you. That's exactly why these motherfuckers are not doing town halls. They're not talking to their constituents. They're not talking to anybody. They're just going to try to slide this shit through. That's why they name everything all slick and, oh, this is the Save America Act, aka making sure your punk ass who can't fucking travel internationally to make sure you can't vote anymore. Uh-oh. Oh, this in from 30 minutes ago.
MS Now's Carol Lenig and Jackie Alamany have that incredible reporting. Eddie Glaude is also back with us. So, Carol, take us through the evidence Jack Smith found.
Yeah, Chris, you summarized that beautifully. The enduring mystery of the classified documents case, even for Republican allies.
And for the international people, this is when Trump, after he lost to Biden, and then he moved back to, he packed up his shit and went to Mar-a-Lago. He took a bunch of his, let me say this in the right order. Every morning at typically it was, well, in previous administrations, it'd be like, you know, between 6 and 8 in the morning, a couple of nerds would walk in there with some binders and a list of shit, and they would be briefing the president on what happened while he was asleep. And this happened every morning. They would get their briefing. There would be like national security stuff, domestic stuff, economy stuff, all that stuff. And that's the report that the president gets every morning. Now, in case, like, let's say, oh, and such happened in Iran. Well, tell me more. Show me the stuff that we have on Iran. And then someone produces a binder, and the binder's got all of the documents that supplement the report. If you guys remember, Trump was legendarily known for not taking his morning briefing or getting bored or not wanting to pay attention. And the only way that they could get him to pay attention is if they put his name on it a whole bunch of times, or his picture, and less words and more pictures and bigger font and all that. So essentially what was a stack of binders that the president was responsible for understanding and knowing every morning. So instead of that, he started getting just like, you know, a 1-page crib notes cheat sheet. Those departments that report to the White House or that are within the executive branch, they are still responsible for those reports, whether or not Trump is going to read them or not. So they still put out the report. They still get the binder put together. They get all the data put together, and then they send it to who they need to send it to. And then someone would consolidate that stuff and put it on 1 page and then slide it to Trump. And that was his briefing at like 11 or whenever the fuck he decided to wake up. All of those binders were still getting sent. All that information was still getting sent. It's class. Most of that shit is classified. You can't just throw it in the garbage. So they were just storing it. And then he just took it with him. And now he's got people coming in and out of Mar-a-Lago doing whatever the fuck they want to do. And there's all of these briefings from like when he was like, oh yeah, I could have declassified this and all that. That's the supplemental reports from his morning briefing that he never gave a shit about while he was president. And he thought, I can just keep that stuff. That belongs to the American people. That belongs to the United States. That's not his. He doesn't get to keep that shit. That is classified information, and he's letting people in his club, and it seems like we know why.
And supporters of Donald Trump, starting when I began talking to them in June of 2020, was why did Donald Trump put himself in this kind of criminal exposure and danger of being charged with?
I think Biden's an old bitch who should have got the fuck out of the way and let somebody who actually had a chance run. He was supposed to be a transitional president, and then he fucking bombed on that debate stage after he should have already been out of the race for a year at that point. And then he fucking came out there with his fucking grizzled hands of death. He's like, I'm not giving up. And then he gave up like 2 weeks later. Like, fuck him forever. He's a fucking horrible piece of shit. And I can't, never mind, I won't say that. But yeah, fuck Joe Biden.
A very serious crime by taking these documents out of the White House after he left in 2021 and left the presidency? And why did he obstruct justice? The
Yeah,
evidence.
see, this is binders and manila folders and all the like dossiers that all the different, you know, individual departments owe him a report every morning. It needs to be on his desk. So they probably have like a deadline of like 5 a.m. Then it goes to so-and-so, then it goes to so-and-so, and then it's eventually filtered into the president. He never read any of this shit that he was supposed to read. Couldn't be bothered. Didn't even know what most of it said. So now that it's on these stages and he's having these banquets and these people are coming over and these Saudis and Jared Kushner's inviting this person over and the crypto bros are coming over. And meanwhile, back at the ranch, all this shit was inside Mar-a-Lago, not under lock and key, not you know, in a bunker somewhere, not in a shipping container with a big fucking padlock on it. It was just like in a bathroom. It was over on the corner of the stage. Anyone could just walk into that fucking room and lift the lid on a fucking cardboard box. Like, I think the thing that came out was military plans for Iran that journalists were able to get their eyes on. Like, this is stupid. And there were so many people justifying this and acting like it was perfectly acceptable for him to just keep our military secrets and cardboard boxes on a stage that wasn't being watched by anybody. What are you talking about? You can't put our fucking secrets out there. There's like troop locations on this shit. You know, there's all kinds of sensitive national security information on this stage, and he thought it was acceptable to leave it on the stage because it's his. It's not fucking yours, guy. You know, make up some excuse for why the Republican states don't need a passport. Well, good luck. Because that's why a lot of Republicans are pushing back on that, like in the House. Because, like, dude, you're going to get rid of all my voters, and then I won't win my election. And you're right, Corn. It is a cult.
It suggests and conceal and basically
this show is the fucking splash of cold water in some of these faces.
Mislead the government about the fact that he was withholding these documents when the government subpoenaed them. You know, you will remember Donald Trump insisted through.
Look, next to the fucking shitter, bro. Next to the shitter. Talking about we had some water leakage. You don't need no water leakage. That shit don't belong in there. That shit belongs back in DC. What issue made you politically active, Mikey? 9/11. I mean, I was like, shit, that was 2001. I was 13 or 14. Yeah, I think I was a freshman. But yeah, I've cared about politics ever since then because I was very much under the assumption that I was about to get drafted and put into the desert.
His lawyer that he had turned over all the remaining classified records, but an August 2022 search by the FBI uncovered hundreds more of these.
Yeah, look at this. Look at this.
2020.
They opened up the thing and it's full of this shit. Like, what are we talking about? He can't have that. Not after he left.
To search by the FBI uncovered hundreds more of these top secret records. Now we're learning, as a result of this document, this January 2023 progress memo, that MS now.
So you were against the Iraq War. When I was very young, but at first I wanted us to get revenge because Americans had died. And then as I grew older, I understood more about the conflict and about what led up into the conflict, and that we were lied to, and we went to Iraq to punish Al-Qaeda, who wasn't there. And then I was like, oh, I got tricked. Wow, that was easy. Okay, maybe I should just calm down with like being angry about stuff and like actually like looking into the history of regions and our relations with that region. And a lot more shit made a lot more sense.
Now was able to obtain and review. We're learning that Jack Smith was looking very seriously into the likelihood and possibility that Donald Trump had kept numerous classified documents that pertain to his business interests, and that perhaps that was his motive for keeping the records and lying to the government about returning everything that was classified.
Yeah, Jackie, how ironic, right? Raskin gets these documents as part of the DOJ's effort to undermine the classified documents case, but then he writes to Attorney General Bondi this: apparently blindsided by the frenzied search to find any scrap of evidence that could be twisted and distorted, you have, quite amazingly, missed the fact that some of the documents you provided include damning evidence about your boss's conduct. What does the White House have to say about all this?
Gumby says it sped up time and gave us this bright light to throw us off. Nobody notices. I wish I knew what you were talking about. Sounds great.
Well, the White House is saying that these claims by Raskin are baseless and true.
This dude had our military secrets in the toilet, and you're like, they sped up time. I wish they were this sophisticated, but they're not.
They've claimed that they've been in full compliance with the law. They've also tried to spin this as an example of how they are the most transparent Justice Department in history by providing.
Yeah, they're so transparent. They gave everybody a bunch of fully blacked out pages that only had the date on it. And it was the date that the report was made. It wasn't even the date from the paper.
These documents. They've also essentially said that because none of this information was disclosed before a grand jury and that this sensitive information has been redacted, for example, pointing to something that was included in the progress report, which was the manifest of the plane where Donald Trump allegedly showed people, including Susie Wiles, classified information because those names were redacted. That
Let me find that video. Let me find that.
Actually, they did protect sensitive information and therefore were not in violation of the gag order by Eileen.
I'm guessing you are against us Americans being involved in Iran. I think the JCPOA was working. I think the best way to deal with dictators is to empower the people, and hurting the people is not empowering the people, right? And if you know that, well, they should have known, but they act like they don't know. If you're under the impression that attacking the people or attacking the regime is going to lead to worse outcomes for the people, then you should not do it. Right? If you're going to only incur suffering for the people you are trying to liberate, are you truly liberating them, or are you just going to blow them up? We're not helping Iran by having them have, crews out there all night dealing with missile strikes. Blowing up a little girl's school is not going to fucking make people, oh, now I understand America's point. Like, that's not going to happen. So we should use our words like adults. That's because we're the shit.
In canon. Trump himself has yet to comment directly on these reports. However, in the past, just a month ago, or I guess now maybe 2 months ago, when Jack Smith testified before Congress, Trump took to Truth Social with very strong words against Jack Smith, calling him a deranged animal, asking Pam Bondi to open up an investigation into him, to hold him accountable for
what? And this is the other part. Like, now that he's busted doing shit to cover up his shit, he's gotten back in fucking power, and now he's punishing the people that were looking after his crimes the first time around. Like, and then people are like, yeah, because they were going after him for nothing. Bro, he already admitted to everything that we needed to see. You know what I'm saying? He said he kept the shit, and then he said, oh, I declassified it myself. I thought you said you didn't have them. What are you declassifying if you turned over everything that you were supposed to? Your paper was X-rayed, right? Fucking no fractures or breaks. That shit was just like when you forget to put the lid down on the copy machine, so it just scans the ceiling. You just get the black shit. Like, that's what it thinks. You think we should be helping Ukraine or Israel or Taiwan? I think Israel's gotten as much help as they are ever going to need. Like, they are funding everything in their country based on the aid that we provide for them. Like, their kids get to go to school for free. They have universal health care. They have a missile protection system. But we don't. Like, I'm failing to see what we're getting out of our end of the bargain. And if they want peace in their region, they should stop fucking genociding the fucking countries next to them. Right? every time somebody wants to have a peace talk, suddenly a missile falls out of the sky and blows up the meeting. You know, I think we are indebted to Ukraine because Ukraine had nuclear weapons and they were not attacked. And then we convinced them to get rid of their nuclear weapons. And then they said, okay, but you got our back, right? And we said, we sure do. And they got rid of their nukes. And then he went into Crimea. Putin went into Crimea. Like there was supposed to be a response that was matching our agreement, and we did not do that. I hope Taiwan gets to stay free, but it looks like China is going to absorb them. I mean, we're trying. I want Hong Kong to be free. I want Taiwan to be free. I want the Uyghurs to be free. I don't agree with what China does politically a lot about anything. I like some of the stuff that they have and some of the stuff that they do, but I don't agree with how they are the one China policy. I'm not a big we have Pokemon and monster trucks. Yeah, they didn't think about that. Pokemon is actually Japanese. Little girl. Yeah, we're latent extremist anti-West jihadis. Yeah, that's what they all like. Well, they used to be a military base, but then it's like, no, you got bad intel from the same country that gave you WMD intel, and now your hands are dirty, right? And then Trump, instead of apologizing for what clearly, I mean, the only out they could have said is like, this was a terrible mistake, and we apologize, and here's our reparations, and we're going to be working on doing this kind of stuff in the future. He didn't say any of that. He's like, well, maybe they just painted it. You know what I mean? Like, just like that doesn't get us anywhere. With all due respect, Budapest Memorandum is not a treaty-backed obligation. The establishment media used Budapest Memorandum in the same way they used WD0. Check it out for yourself. The Budapest Memorandum concerning which country? Because I was talking about a bunch of different ones, which just remind me. I'm from UK, Taiwan, yes, but Israel, nope, in my opinion. But I am from UK. Hey, Allie. For Ukraine. Oh, okay. For the Budapest Memorandum, it's not a treaty-backed obligation. Yeah, but I mean, they would still have their nukes if not for us saying that we will protect you. And I think Russia is a lot less likely to start invading the place when there's a possibility of, you know, medium-range missiles heading to a large city full of nukes. Like that would slow them down from just sending a line of tanks in there. They didn't have access to them. They couldn't pay for them either. Well, that's what allies are for, you know? So what would have been cheaper? Us helping them keep up their nuclear stockpile and helping keeping it solvent and safe, or all of the shit that we're doing now? Yeah. We're not allies with Ukraine. Okay. Seems different to me, but okay.
These investigations as special counsel. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw that raised again today on Truth Social at some point. But we also know that this report, this disclosure could be especially important for Senate lawmakers.
So more or less on the Ukraine thing, I would like for them to be able to protect their own sovereignty and for us to not be interventionalists in every fucking, anytime somebody picks up the phone and calls us, we just jump in there and be world police, because it was an entire generation of millennials that got fucked up from Iraq and Afghanistan. You know what I mean? Like, it was us that went over there. We were the young sprouts, the 18 to 24-year-olds that went over there. And then now they're doing everything they can to pull the funding from the veterans administrations, all the VAs. They're trying to pull the funding for them. And the VAs have been highly renowned as being the best medical institutions that we have in the country. Some of them the best on the planet. And we're just going to cut funding for that. Like, I don't think we should fucking spend another fucking dollar on another fucking bomb until every fucking veteran has a job, has housing, has health care, and their dignity. So until we take care of the fucking veterans we have, you don't get to make any more.
As they are
We got veterans at home you can take care of.
set to call Jack Smith to testify before their chamber in the next few months, and this is ripe for a new line of questioning.
So, Carol, but all this reporting is coming. Isn't it now right that Jack Smith has largely been barred from discussing details of his work?
Yeah, I think your word of ironic was really ideal, Chris, in this situation, because the Department of Justice, the FBI director, have been, kind of pawing through a lot of Jack Smith's files, trying to find what they believe is evidence or proof or indicia that Jack Smith weaponized, or Joe Biden, former President Joe Biden, weaponized the Justice Department to come after Donald Trump. They've been really unsuccessful in establishing that Jack Smith did anything inappropriate. And here, in releasing a trove of documents about Arctic frost, which was the election interference investigation, in doing that, they released this January 2023 memo, which doesn't look that great for Donald Trump. It affirms some reporting that Jackie and I did a long time ago, either together or separately, that raised questions about what Susie Wiles knew about Donald Trump showing classified information to people. It shows that there was evidence they had that he showed this classified map in a plane when he was no longer president, and none of them had security clearances. It indicates that only 6 people were authorized to look at one of these documents that Donald Trump had in his possession. And I want to underscore that and say 6 people, including the President of the United States. That means the document was part of a special access.
Hold on, I found it. Here we go.
Bedminster, New Jersey. You will clearly hear the former president as he is speaking to several people. According to the special counsel's indictment, they include a writer working on Mark Meadows' memoir, the publisher, and 2 of Trump's staff members. The president was aware he was being recorded. This is the first time it is being played publicly.
And this is from, what's the date on this? This is from 2 years ago, from June 26, 2023.
These are bad, sick people.
That was your coup, against you.
Well, it started right at the
like
beginning.
when Millie's talking about, you were going to try to do a coup. No, they were trying to do that before you even were sworn in. That's right. Trying to overthrow your election.
Well, with Millie, let me see that. I'll show you an example. He said that I wanted to attack Iran. Isn't it amazing? I have a big pile of papers. This thing just came up. Look.
Like, you can't fucking make this shit up, bro. It's like he's like a fucking a spy's wet dream. He can't stop fucking revealing shit he's not supposed to reveal.
This was him. They presented me this. This is off the record, but they presented me this. This was him. This was the Defense Department and him.
No, Gumby says, I like that. No more veterans till you take care of the ones you got. Like, for real. Because these motherfuckers want to fucking, every fucking 4th of July or Memorial Day, they want to fucking find the biggest American flag they can, get the biggest fireworks they can. We love you, troops, so much. But also, stop fucking panhandling on the fucking corner or we'll put you in jail, you fucking junkie piece of shit. Like, they just treat these motherfuckers like absolute fucking garbage. And then as soon as they want to fucking blow some shit up, they say, come on, poor people. Come on, poor people. Put this uniform on and get in this plane and jump out and go fight for your life. Quit doing that to them kids and leave these countries alone. Y'all got plenty of veterans at the crib that you can take care of. I know. Fucking, that this fucking paper shuffling is stupido.
Stupido. We looked at some. This was him. This wasn't done by me. This was him. All sorts of stuff. It's pages long. Look. Wait a minute. Let's see here.
Look at him shuffling through shit he's not supposed to have. They can hear the paper and the fucking audio. Like, this motherfucker is the worst. God. And that's why I don't know who brought up fucking Tulsi Gabbard. Like, Tulsi Gabbard was in there like, look at all these secrets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just found, isn't that amazing? This totally wins my case, you know. Except it is like highly confidential.
He flips it over to the front to show the top secret.
There's a secret information. But look at this. You attack, and
Hillary would print that out all the time, you know.
she'd send
Private
it, no,
email.
she'd send it to
Yeah.
Anthony Weiner,
Yeah.
the pervert.
I know you ain't calling Anthony Weiner a pervert when you got allegations with a 14-year-old fucking monster.
By the way, isn't that incredible?
Yeah.
I was just saying, because we were talking about it. And, you know, he said he wanted to attack Iran and what? These are the
You did.
papers.
Wow.
This was done by the military, given.
So you're showing staffers classified Iranian maps and details.
To me. I think we can probably, yeah,
I don't know, we'll have to see, yeah, we'll have to try to
declassify.
figure out
it.
yeah.
See, as president, I could have declassified
Yeah.
it. Now I can't, you know, but this.
And then people sat there and argued with me and they were like, yeah, he declassified it because he can do that. He says he can't do that. But y'all arguing with me.
Yeah, now we have a problem.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
It's so cool. I mean, it's so, we here and I have, and you probably almost didn't believe me, but now you believe me.
No, I believe
It's
you.
incredible, right?
No,
Hey, bring some Cokes in, please.
Joining us now.
Let's get that last line one more time because it's so good. Writer, no, they never met a war they didn't want. Trump, hey, bring some Cokes in, please. Just.
And you probably almost didn't believe me, but now you believe me.
No, I believe
It's
you.
incredible, right?
No,
Hey, bring some Cokes in, please.
Joining us now.
But he didn't do nothing.
Program where only the president or the CIA director could grant permission for people to see it. It's a document that the top national security prosecutors investigating Donald Trump for classified records mishandling did not have authorization to look at the time.
So, Eddie, that comes all at a time when the divide between the rich and the poor across the country is growing ever wider. The Wall Street Journal reported just last night that the number of Americans worth tens and hundreds of millions of dollars has boomed. So you have these widespread allegations of grift, to be honest with you, that Donald Trump, his family, his associates have been taking advantage of their positions to get even richer. Why do you think it's not registering, or doesn't seem to be registering with more voters? Do you think they're desensitized by it, that there are just, frankly, bigger things to worry about, like war, the cost of gas and food? Why is this so important, do you think?
It's hard. I mean, everyday ordinary folk are overwhelmed by what's coming at them. So much is happening. It feels as if the country's coming apart at the seams. I think this reporting on the part of Carol and Jackie is so important because it shows.
I'll be right back.
Have been taking advantage of their positions to get even richer. Why do you think it's not registering, or doesn't seem to be registering with more voters? Do you think they're desensitized by it, that there are just, frankly, bigger things to worry about, like war, the cost of gas and food? Why is this so important, do you think?
It's hard. I mean, everyday ordinary folk are overwhelmed by what's coming at them. So much is happening. It feels as if the country's coming apart at the seams. I think this reporting on the part of Carol and Jackie is so important because it shows, of course, as you say, the grift at the heart of the Trump administration, that in many ways he doesn't have the country as his first order of priority. It's really his own family and himself that motivates how he governs, how he thinks about America as such. And I think it's important for us to understand that given the assault on democratic institutions, given the assault on the fourth estate, on the press, given the assault on voting and election processes, that Donald Trump's administration is also engaged in an assault on the very moral heart of America. He's in so many ways, Chris, he's attacking the moral fiber of the country. such that we can be desensitized, indifferent to the unethical behavior of our leaders in so many ways. And I think this is really important for us to recognize that it's not just simply politics that's happening. There's a kind of moral attack on the heart that has political implications. And if we don't address that moral side of it, we will in some ways really risk losing the very fabric, the very heart of the country itself, it seems to me.
Yeah, it's gone. Like I have ooh. Hold on. I have a lot of talks with my mom, and my mom's, 30 years my senior. And she's just like, I don't know what happened. I'm like, well, everything that bad could have happened is happening. And where is it?
It can only good happen.
Yeah, the only good never happened. And what we have now is a kleptocracy where we have normalized corporate interests stealing from the people. Well, the people are starting to get broke, and when the people get broke, the people get pissed. So that's why we do what we do over here, is to make sure people are properly pissed about the things that are properly affecting their lives.
This ball of fire streaking across the night sky. The latest in a string of stellar sightings seen here overnight in California.
Whoa!
And Space City living up to its name.
Did y'all see that?
With this one Saturday afternoon in Houston.
It's going to be an explosion. The meteorite or missile fell out of the sky.
Traveling at 35,000 miles per hour, NASA says.
That's where it came in at.
Part of it crashing through this woman's roof.
Oh, hell no. Nah. And the motherfucker hit me in the drywall? People got broke during by 35 cost increase. See, like, if you just want to like point out Biden numbers and like that kind of shit, what's going to end up happening is the numbers are not on your side. But the numbers that are important are the numbers that affect the people, like wages, like rent, like, you know what I mean? Like that kind of stuff. That's the shit that matters. His economy made the corporations more money, and they can, manipulate their books to make it look like everything's going great, to give people this confidence that things are getting better. But the day-to-day stuff never got addressed. Like, for everybody who hates fucking Biden's look out his economy and he did so terrible, you know what he did? The exact same thing Trump did. Look it up. Like, he kept the Trump tax cuts in there. He never repealed them. So the corporations were like, cool, we can just keep stealing from the people. And they're like, yeah, I guess. Two wings of the same bird.
Leaving a massive crater.
And just boom, then I heard a boom.
The meteor was about 3 feet in diameter, NASA says, and weighed about a ton before it broke apart in the sky, sending researchers and hunters alike to this park searching for fragments.
Yeah, so I found 2 meteorites this morning.
So how does it feel?
I was very excited. It's very exciting to find it and know that you're holding something that just 2 days ago was in space.
3 galactic spectacles in the past week, experts say.
Whoa, what the was that?
This in Ohio.
The size of the meteor is pretty big. You can see the fireball more easily.
An out-of-this-world experience that one need only look up to see. Priscilla Thompson, NBC News.
And the aliens have landed. It's a calculated math equation. The numbers are on my side. During Trump, inflation, I'm guessing, inflation dropped below 3%, and the wage growth is 4.2. 9% interest isn't the same. Biden added 42 regulations and taxes. I'm not a fucking nuclear power plant. You know what I'm saying? I'm not putting an Amazon warehouse up. I'm not doing any of those things. There was no regulations on the regular person. Like, I'm not going to argue economics from the corporate side of it. I'm only arguing it from the consumer side of it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't give a shit. Like, that's why I fucking despise the lauding that Biden was given for his economy, when his economy didn't do anything for fucking people. Didn't do anything for us. $5 from old Tons of Mice. You know, Tons, that makes me feel
Jim Crow.
Tim's hat 2028. Fill it up with your hate piss. The hot, steamy hate piss. Regulatory increases supply. No, that was from fucking COVID, dude. I am. The corporate side caused the inflation, especially oil and gas. So then what are you talking about? Like, I'm not saying like you cannot honestly look at what Trump's plan is and think it's worse than Biden's because Biden used his fucking plan. Like, I don't understand what you're saying. Yeah.
Jim Crow.
Fucking did you know Rudy Giuliani had a podcast? He does. And then he said this.
Stupid, stupido.
But like Biden didn't change anything from Trump's 2016 win. Like, he didn't change anything. Everything stayed exactly the same. And the corporate people just got bolder. It doesn't, like, he's on their side. Biden was never on the people's side, which is why he's never gotten any fucking praise over here. No. The regulations are not what caused the fucking inflation, dude. No. Because if that were true, the inflation would have been in place until January 20th when he got up there in front of the cameras with his 16 Sharpie markers and started signing shit. That's not what it was. Like, these people are privatizing their profits and socializing their losses. When things are going like I have never been a proponent of like Obamacare, which is Republican care, which is Romney care from Massachusetts that was, dressed up by the Heritage Foundation, and then fucking the neolibs fucking co-opted it and made it their own thing. Like, that Obamacare doesn't actually address the problem. All it does is give tons of money to the pharmaceutical companies and to the medical companies. You know what I mean? Like, it's not actually going to fucking solve anything. It was just a way to make sure that those people got money until we figured something out. And then no one ever figured anything out. When you change carbon tax by 5,000%. Well, they need to be fucking taxed on fucking carbon. And it goes back to my first comment. Time has been altered. 31 Atlas is what we are and are being distracted from. But 31 Atlas was just a regular dude. I'm so sorry Ari Loeb got to you, man. I hate that fucking guy. That Ari Loeb guy is always, him and Michio Kaku are so quick to jump on NBC or Fox, and they'll fucking be like, oh, did you see that light in the sky? Well, what I can tell you is we don't know if that's not an alien mothership or not. And as like an astronomy nerd, it's like, dude, get people interested in astronomy for like good reasons. You know, I'm like, when we have conjunctions coming up, where if you have some binoculars in a dark night, you can see 4 planets. Go out there and take a look. That's how you get people interested in space. Telling people that there's going to be aliens, and then when they actually get into astronomy and figure out that there's no fucking possible way for us to find aliens, they're all sad, and then they give it up. When lease tax goes up 2%, COVID and supply chains gave us, but that's what I'm saying. When driller leases are removed, that doesn't drive up our energy costs, not for our gasoline. Nope.
Stupido.
You like our new tag? Thatcher deregulated Britain. Yeah, and look at the good it did it. I found your coworker on tells my brother soup posse, isn't that wrong? Reply cost, but I am Brassic. Affected oil and gas increased the supply chain issues. Those costs were transferred to consumers. Okay, man. You can I just disagree. Astronomy is better than astrology. Today it is, yes. I don't watch the news, got that. Well, Well, if you're talking about 31 Atlas still, dude, there's so much cool space news out there. I found like probably 4 or 5 like smaller channels, like under 10,000 subs, that literally just like wait for the papers to come out and then they fucking break that shit down. So you can get your juicy space news, and not from people who are just like fucking blowing everything up out of proportion, and everything's, if it comes around the sun at this angle, we'll know that it's stopping under its own power and we're doing it. It's like, God, Jesus. So you just said regulators didn't raise the price of production orders, and you were proven wrong. I'm not giving you those facts, but I don't want to look them up right now. So that's what I'm doing. Supply and demand. Yes, supply does affect energy costs. Supply under Biden dropped due to lack of drilling. Remember when he filled up our strategic oil reserves? Like, that's the part that you're leaving out. Right? Like during COVID, when all the fucking the price per barrel dropped precipitously, and he fucking emptied out the oil reserves and filled them up at a cheaper price, saving us a bunch of money. Sora show is pausing gas deliveries in the Southwest region, Texas, Arizona for a few days. Oh boy. Region, which is learn, grow, and you can understand what I'm saying and why inflation occurred. It's not bad to be wrong. No, I'm just saying you're pointing at those things as that's why there was an inflation. That's why there was inflation, and that's why like everyone was suffering, was because of the fucking oil and gas fucking leases to drill. Like, I wholeheartedly, I get that you think that and that's what you believe. I don't think that's what happened. Like, I don't think it was the drilling that fucking caused the greedflation that we all went to. Like, let's not talk about how the individual food makers and the food producers were busted and caught by the FEC for shrinkflation, where they were offering less product for the same amount or more. And they were blaming supply costs. Everybody was blaming the supply chain. Everybody, but they had no actual they had not incurred the losses to mitigate the increases in price that they were applying to people. It's artificial is what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, is that it's not that even if the price of the price to make things were going up, they still, like, if the example, let's say they had like a 5 to 8% increase, they were still increasing the price like 25%. So while your point can be perfectly valid, that wasn't the worst of it, because everybody went through the same kinds of global inflation due to COVID, and then the oil shock after that, the shockwave after that. But it was very uniquely us that was just, we'll just let them get away with whatever the fuck they want to get away with. You know what I mean? I Can Mouse from Mars guy is on tube. I think I've seen him. So you're saying Biden didn't fill up the oil reserves at a lower price? Is that what you're saying? Because I mean, that would be something I could easily Google. Didn't really actually increase under Biden? No, apparently not. Nope. This guy says I'm wrong. A decrease in raw new permits does not equal a decrease in production for fossil fuels. But you're not based in facts. You feel this way. I am providing an economic logic, cause and effect. When this convo's over, please look it up. The facts are available. I don't know. I'll wait until see who you're saying correct to.
Spring, Texas.
We thank you for.
Oh, God damn it. That was the end of the video. Wasn't paying attention. Well, I was paying attention to too many things. Too many things. Let's see. What are we talking about here? Short, no nonsense review of. Oh, I love the Rovers. I was very excited when we landed Curiosity. Landing a fucking probe the size of a Mini Cooper on a foreign planet with parachutes. Oops.
Analyst tells CNN, many vessels are now rerouting to Jeddah in Saudi Arabia instead of passing through the Strait of Hormuz to Dubai. And they're taking the long way to avoid the threats of potential Houthi militant attacks. The analyst says the ships are sailing across the Indian Ocean and around the southern tip of Africa, up through the Mediterranean Sea, and then down through the Suez Canal into the Red Sea from the top. Now, not only does that take about 60 days compared to the previous 20, it's almost 4 times more expensive. CNN Business senior reporter Hannah Zaidi joins us live now from London. So the data suggesting here that several ships have passed through the Strait of Hormuz in just the past day. So what can you tell us about that and how many we know are actually getting through?
Well, Christina, data from Marine...
Okay, here. Oh, hold on. Let me get the article.
Traffic, which is a ship traffic and maritime intelligence provider, saying that at least 3 vessels and a cargo ship appear to have passed through the strait in the past 24 hours. But let's be clear, that's a trickle compared to the number of ships that were moving through before the war. The International Maritime Organization said last week that nearly 2,000 vessels are...
Here. Biden-Harris administration makes final purchase for the Strategic Petroleum Reserve, secures 200 million barrels at a good deal for the American taxpayer. And this is from energy.gov, so the Department of Energy. U.S. Department of Energy today announced that 200 million barrels of crude oil have been delivered, contracted at a good deal for taxpayers at an average price of 74.75 cents, following the closure of the most recent solicitation to acquire 2.4 million barrels of crude from the Strategic Petroleum Reserve. The aggressive buyback strategy has resulted to the purchase of 20 million barrels, more than 180 million barrels sold under the emergency declaration authorization of President Biden in 2022, following the unprecedented Russian invasion of Ukraine. To date, DOE has directly purchased 59 million barrels of oil for the SPR at an average price of under $76 per barrel, which is about $20 per barrel lower than the $95 average sales price in 2022's emergency sales. In addition, DOE secured 140 million barrels by working with Congress to cancel mandated sales between fiscal year 24 and 26 at approximately $74 per barrel. Together, this brings the total of purchased or retained in the strategic reserve to nearly 200 million barrels. Right? Right? I knew what I was talking about.
Trapped in the Persian Gulf, so adjacent to the strait. And as you laid out in such a detail there, companies are coming up with all kinds of ways to try to avoid the strait, going all the way around the southern tip of Africa, even trying to avoid parts of the Red Sea as well. And so we're getting these kind of very circuitous routes, adding huge costs to shipping. And it's unclear whether that will really be enough to move the amount of goods that need to be moved. We're seeing trucks lining up at the Saudi Arabian port of Jeddah. And we also know that Saudi Aramco, Saudi Arabia's big oil exporter, is now exporting some of its oil from the Yanbu port, also on the Red Sea. But I think it must be pointed out that the big issue is this choking off of the Strait of Hormuz. And several analysts, experts, the International Energy has said that until we get vessels sustainably and safely and consistently moving through the strait, we are going to keep seeing oil prices at the levels we've been seeing and concerns about supply of oil, of natural gas, of fertilizers, of all sorts of goods, Christina.
Yeah, and in the meantime, Tehran are saying they will, quote, absolutely keep charging a fee for safe passage through the Strait of Hormuz. That's according to an Iranian official. I just want to show our viewers what that official said in an interview with Indian TV. Let's take a listen.
What Iran is doing is just to make sure that the vessels belonging or related to the United States and Israel and other countries that are in any manner participating or helping the aggressors make any harm to Iran's national security. And I think that's based on international.
I tried to do that ship tracker thing. But But you need a paid thing. It won't let you like you can see the ships. Here, I'll click on it again. Like you can see the ships, but it doesn't show them moving. Ooh, well, let me just hit play. No, it's got that. I got a filter on. Hold on. Hold, please. Okay, how do I get? Oh shit, I don't even know how to get out of this now.
Again, I have to clarify that other states that has nothing to do with this act of aggression against Iran can pass through the Strait of Hormuz after necessary.
Okay, here we go. So here's the Earth, right? Look at all that travel, right? Now let's go. There's China. Okay, so let's go to the Straits of Hormuz. Yeah, I don't know, man. Doesn't look like everyone's just sailing on through, huh? And they were talking about Karg Island. Karg Island is up Schmeer. Come on. Where'd it go? I mean, this is narrow. Whew. Yeah. I mean, if you look over here at like the density of ships and all that shit, let's go somewhere else. Let's go to the Mediterranean. I mean, look at this. I mean, there's ships everywhere. Jesus. Look at that. Look at Gibraltar. If we go back over, there's a Suez. Everybody's stacked up at the Suez. And then the strait is just empty. Unbelievable.
Necessary coordination with Iranian authorities.
So if Iran continued charging for passage through the Strait of Hormuz, what impact is that going to have on shipping and also on global inflation?
It certainly won't help matters. As you mentioned in your introduction, shipping costs have surged.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, my bad. Right, Schmeer. Yes.
As shippers try to, which mean higher fuel costs, more time to get goods from point A to B, and also a more risk that you could snarl supply chains in ports far away from the Middle East. And we've seen this happen in previous previous shocks to global supply chains, where you have containers piling up in India, or because goods are not moving through supply chains at the speed that they need to. And all of that adds cost to shipping. Again, the most important thing, certainly for oil prices and therefore inflation, because this is really an energy price shock, is to get that Strait of Hormuz open once again. Oil prices have come off a bit in the last few days, as we've seen some optimism around potential talks between Tehran and Washington, but worth mentioning and worth pointing out that they are still much higher than they were before the Iran war started on February 28th. So we had Brent crude hovering around $70 a barrel before the war started. At the beginning of the year, before tensions between Iran and the US started ratcheting up, Brent crude oil was sitting at $60 a barrel. So I think...
So let's go back over. So yeah, there's Iraq, Saudi Arabia, Oman, UAE, there's Iran. And this is the strait, no? I don't think we're talking about up here. Yeah. Caspian Sea. I've always wanted to see the Caspian Sea. Isn't the Caspian Sea a lake, technically? Like a brackish lake? Okay. Oh, so all these red bitches are fucking oil tankers and the green ones are good. Sheesh. That's a lot of oil sitting out there. Sailors trapped on ships in the Gulf running out of supply. Yeah. Because they can't dock. They're just still on the boat. Please let me out the boat. Is this a port down here? Yeah. Like, I'm just confused about who thought this was like, oh, this will be fine. You know what I mean? Like, no one could get in the room and be like, no, this is actually not fine. This is a terrible idea. Don't do this. No one thought to say anything. I wish I didn't have that fucking paid thing. I would love to hear to see these little dots moving.
All of this just goes to show that there may be some alternatives to the Strait of Hormuz, but certainly charging vessels to go through it will only add costs to shipping. And I'm not sure that it will give the shipping companies and their insurers, also very important in this whole equation, the confidence to return in full to transiting through the strait.
Right, joining us live now is the director for the Middle East program at Defense Priorities, Rosemary Kalanick. She is also author of the book Black Gold and Blackmail, Oil and Great Power Politics. So this idea that global shipping could reroute all the way around South Africa instead of passing through parts of the Middle East, I mean, how sustainable is that? And obviously, that is a much longer route, far more expensive. Is that really sustainable in the long term?
It is sustainable if you're talking about avoiding the Red Sea. It doesn't solve the Hormuz problem necessarily, but we did see the market adapt in that manner when the Houthis were targeting Red Sea shipping. And the year that happened, 2024, profits for maritime shipping actually went up. They actually made more money on the route because it doesn't add that much in terms of insurance and fuel costs compared to the value of the cargo that they're transporting. So that is sustainable.
And so you mentioned that obviously it doesn't solve the Strait of Hormuz issue. So that still remains a key issue. And if you have a situation where, yes, if the Red Sea isn't being used and instead the Cape of Good Hope is being used, but still at the same time, given that 20% of the world's oil supply comes through the Strait of Hormuz, that still will cause oil prices to remain elevated for the time being.
She freaking launched her Magna Doodle across the freaking living room.
That's right, it will. Although we have seen some adaptation already. So Saudi Arabia is now rerouting about 5 million barrels a day additional from Hormuz to the Red Sea. So if that continues, you go from losing 20 million barrels a day through the Hormuz to down to 15 million barrels a day. We've also seen some tankers pass through Hormuz if they've paid what appears to be a toll to Iran for doing so. We're also seeing Iranian tankers and Chinese tankers making their way through at much lower rates than before this crisis started. So we've seen some adaptation, but likely prices are going to remain high until this conflict is solved.
And so what does this say about just the fragility of depending on one or two major choke points to get the bulk of the world's oil supply to where it needs to go?
Yeah, I mean, it is an issue, and it's an issue that is partially geography and partially the market. So on the one hand, the cheapest way to send oil places is overseas, like through shipping. Sending it through Hormuz made a lot of sense for many years because Iran did not close the strait. And the United States, of course, also promised to keep oil flowing from the Persian Gulf using U.S. military power, hoping mostly that would deter Iran from trying to close the strait. Now we know it's sort of backfired because we've started this war that led to the strait's closure. So if companies understand now going forward that the strait is much less secure than it was in the past, you might see more attempts to find alternative routes pipelines that go to the Red Sea, pipelines that go to the Mediterranean. You could even imagine building rail lines and other means of transporting oil. So that could happen in subsequent years, but it takes a long lead time to build those infrastructure.
Just in terms of, obviously we've had mixed messages coming out of the White House about whether or not we could see some kind of exit ramp, what the status of negotiations is at this point in time. If this war does continue to drag on for, let's say, several months at this point, which countries really do stand to suffer, especially in Asia? We know that China is somewhat shielded, well prepared for this, but other countries in Asia beyond China stand to lose significantly.
Yeah, so the countries that are going to hurt the most from this are the ones that have the most oil-intensive economies, the ones that consume the most oil to produce their GDP. China and Japan are both less oil-intensive than the United States is. Europe is also less oil-intensive, but developing countries in Asia, India, for instance, but also smaller countries like Thailand, Indonesia, et cetera. They're more oil intensive and they could be hurt more from this. In general, developing countries will be hurt more from this than Western countries that depend less on oil.
Right, Rosemary Kalanick, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it.
And I'm muted. That's awesome. That's amazing. How long has it been going on like that? 3 minutes. 3 minutes of me on mute. Excellent. Excellent. I wasn't saying much. Pretty much this is I mean, we have the biggest, stupidest motherfucker who will literally listen to anybody talking to him. He's the one pulling all of these strings. And it's only going to go one way. It's going to go the way of whoever the last one to pull a string out of him did. It'll be the last person in the room. They'll get the last say. So everybody make sure you're registered to fucking vote. Do whatever you got to do to get registered to fucking vote, because there is a 0% chance we can allow the Democrats or the Republicans to have another fucking bite at the apple. They got to go. They got to go. Yeah, I'm just scrolling here now. Oh, and shout out to Hassan Piker for going to fucking Cuba to deliver aid for the people. Even though this fucking bastard of a president is starving people who literally have nothing to do with whatever the fuck he's mad at. And Marco Rubio and all the rest of these fucking Cuba hawks who just want Cuba to suffer for a billion, thousand, trillion years. Like, at what point do we have to just like pull the plug on these motherfuckers? Like, why are you still punishing a country that has so little and that is so righteous and so giving of what few things that they have? They've sent doctors to the States during turmoil and fucking natural disasters. But hopefully they don't get their funding. Hopefully all this shit calms down. But in the oh, here we go. Oh, this is what you're
on this edition of What.
That's what you're talking about. All right, let me share this.
Shipping. Iran has announced the Strait of Hormuz has been closed to the United States and to Israel. I'm your host, Sal Mercogliano. Welcome to today's episode. So Iran has issued a formal notice to the United Nations announcing
everybody go subscribe,
saying that the Strait of Hormuz is not only closed to the United States and Israel, but also to any aggressor nations. Now, we're going to talk about the legality of this and whether or not Iran even has that jurisdiction, and the Gulf of Oman.
Vehicle transit comparisons. Damn.
As noted, we haven't seen an attack on any vessels since 23 March. The most recent attack was on a vessel within the Strait of Hormuz, inside the Persian Gulf, off the coast of the UAE. All right, before we jump in that story, I want to take one other look, and this time at marine traffic. This display shows you global traffic around the world. Again, green are cargo ships, red are tankers. I'm going to clean this up a little bit here and take out.
He got the paid subscription.
Some of the ships. So we're going to remove all the ships except for crude oil tankers. And then even then, we're going to modify it. So we're just looking at ships over 150,000 deadweight tons. So that gives us the fairly large size of crude oil tankers. And here you can see that conduit of oil around the world. This is kind of like the circulatory system of the global energy network. And unfortunately, right now, right here at the Strait of Hormuz, we have it kind of pinched. 20%, roughly 20 million barrels per day typically flow through here. There's roughly about 103 million barrels per day that are loaded around the world. With 20 million barrels stuck inside the Persian Gulf per day, we're not getting that flow out. Now, we're getting some out. We're getting about 1 million a day, a little bit less than that, coming across on a pipeline here to Fujairah. But this terminal has been under continual attack and has not been able to load up to pressure. Then we have.
So I want you guys, like, if you, I can't zoom in on this. Maybe he'll zoom in later. Now imagine dragging your entire Navy through that little gap right there that at its narrowest is like, what, like 2 miles? Like, what are we doing here,
pipeline
guys?
that runs here across Saudi Arabia to this massive congregation of vessels off of Yanbu. That pipeline that goes across Saudi Arabia here has roughly a little bit over 1.5 million barrels per day usually, and they're trying to ramp it up right now to about 5 million barrels per day. But what we're seeing is because of that constraint, that 20 million barrels per day, or roughly a quarter of the world's energy sources, when you factor in LNG, liquefied petroleum gas, liquefied natural gas, and other energy, this is putting a hard press on the rest of the system. Normally, where tankers were flowing out of the Persian Gulf, now they got to come here out of the Red Sea. That's a bit of a longer voyage, plus ships are taking longer to load.
Well, this is what happens when the U.S. empire can think it can just do whatever. I don't care about the cries of Westerners thinking about oil prices. You deserve it. When you have the audacity to defend imperialism, when it haunts you under the form of ice, we are supposed to magically feel sympathy for what complicity lies in an empire. See you later, tons. I'm not sure exactly who you're yelling at, and like how many of the people of this country are in charge of this. You know what I mean? Like, you're like, oh, the cries of Western. Like, do you think that like the average person is like, you know what? We should fuck up the oil markets and go bother Iran. That's what we should do today. Did you think that like we wanted this? Right. And then the people, like, let's focus this on the people that you're actually mad at. Do you think the Trumpers and the MAGA people, do you think they understand what you're even talking about right now? They have no idea what's going on.
So that's putting a delay on tankers that are not loading in this region, have to go to other places. So we see tankers heading around Africa. Some are going up here to Nigeria. Some are going across to Brazil. Some potentially heading up toward Venezuela. But more importantly, they're heading up toward the United States into the Gulf Coast here and loading. This is adding a huge long delay in the ability to get oil across. The longer you have to go, the more ton miles you have to cover, the less capacity is being delivered. For example, if you had a ship that could deliver 4 loads per year, but now because of the elongated distance, it could only load 3, well, you've got to make that up. The problem is we don't have any extra tankers. We're at max capacity. What older tankers we have are in the sanctioned dark fleet, and we're trying to use those. That's why you see the United States removing sanctions on Russian and even Iranian vessels, because what they're trying to do is free up all that oil that's afloat out there. Usually there's a lot of oil that's afloat out there. There's about 100 million barrels, for example, usually sitting off Singapore and Malaysia. But when you add the Russian and Iranian oil, you can add that extra flow. This is why we're seeing very unique trade patterns begin to emerge with the movement of fuel across the ocean. Now, I don't have to demonstrate that to you on a big chart because you're seeing it. When you go to the gas pump right now to fill up your car or your truck, you see exactly that playing out. This is from the EIA, the Energy Information Administration. This shows you the U.S. regular gas prices as of March 23rd, going back a couple of weeks, including to 2 years ago and a year ago. So if you look at gas prices in the
Look at the West Coast.
United States on March 23rd, $3.96. That's up over 46 cents from just a few weeks ago. And if you go back a year ago, it's up 84.5 cents. Obviously, it's more in different areas, and particularly if you look at the West Coast PAD 5 there, you'll see how high it is, $5.26 a gallon. That is an increase, of $1.20 a gallon. That has a lot to do with California refineries shutting down and the fact that California uses a special blend of fuel that makes it more expensive. If you look at a diesel, you see even more pronounced. Where it was $4.85 a few weeks ago, we're up to $5.37 right now. That's up $1.80 a gallon. If you look at the West Coast, up over $2.07 a gallon. But if you ask yourself, hey, Sal, I thought we were energy self-sufficient. Well, yes and no. We produce enough oil for what we need to refine. The problem is all our oil can't be refined in our refineries. So we actually wind up exporting oil we don't need and importing the oil we do need. And since crude oil makes up 51% of the cost of regular gasoline and 41% of diesel, But when you shut off a quarter of the world's oil by closing the Strait of Hormuz and then elongating the freight distances, the ton miles to move oil, that's going to cause domestic oil, WTI, to increase in value and cost. That translates to higher cost at the pumps. All right, that takes us to the story we want to cover here, which...
Right. And that's exactly what the people of America can afford right now. Is higher input prices. Good fucking job. Good fucking job. All right, guys. It is time to make some lunch around here. So we will see you guys tomorrow. I had two boys not able to play the game yesterday. What? Japan jumps 1.2 trillion US bonds. Dollar collapses after Trump's around. Great. So we couldn't play Delta Green last night, but we should be good to go for Tuesday. Tomorrow, me and Tim will be back for another episode of Headliners. And tomorrow night, you can catch us doing Unboxed Politics, your favorite political review show. Last chance for any comments. 7.57 per gallon up there in Canada. Holy shit. Whew. Yikes. Gina, you did great work.
They're pathetic. They are effing pathetic. He had all kinds of Iranian Jim Crow.
And then my personal new favorite.
Stupido.
Yeah, we're going to get it, but we had no McKinnon and no Mark. So, and I will tell you guys this without giving it away. I like the first mission that they did was like kind of the one that comes with the book or whatever. And it's kind of like let you figure out the game. The next 2 or 3 missions I wrote, and they aren't in any book. So they are really at my discretion going forward. But because in between missions are supposed to be like a home period, because these people are not like Jason Bourne, like they have normal lives and they sneak away to do the missions. So they have to go home. And when they go home, they're going to like resolve any damage to their bonds that they got. They've all taken some psych damage from what they saw in the last mission. So all that's got to get rectified, and they get to level up. So any misses that they had, any rolls that they took and they failed, they get points in that stat. So we got to adjust everybody's stat sheet and figure out how they abuse their pets or wives or whatever fallout that happened from the last mission. Tim's got a broken arm or a broken wrist. So they have to resolve that shit and then start the next mission, which I got all ready to go. And it is going to be a doozy. I had 3 possibilities, and I ran them past my wife, and she's like, do this one first, and then do that one, and then do that one last. I was like, okay, I like the way you think. So good stuff on the horizons, but we'll only get 1 mission before we're going to switch back to D&D, and then Tim gets to be harassed by everybody. Yes. Thank you, Allie. Thank you, everybody. You guys have a great night. It's nighttime over there, I believe. I'm going to get out of here and make some sandwiches.
Stupido.
But I'm going to catch you guys next time. Remember to drink your meat.